I mean, it's Van Halen.
That's true.
It's a last name.
Yep. But there were two brothers.
Right.
That were named Van Halen.
Half as offensive.
So they had some fucking weight on the fucking
But it's also
boats.
a cool sounding last name.
True.
Van Halen sounds like a Viking or some shit.
Oh, what's the name of those bunch of fucking kids, the brothers that sound like Led Zeppelin?
Hanson.
No.
Greta Van Fleet. No.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's right. Greta Van Fleet was named after one of the women they knew or the aunt they knew or some shit like that. I thought it was her last name.
Hanson.
It's not Hanson. Menudo.
You know what? It's just hit me. He said them kids that sounded like Zeppelin. This motherfucker goes
Hanson.
It was so dumb. It took 30 seconds for me to really realize how fucking offensive that was and shit.
Bop.
Yeah. He's like, hang on a second. Mike ain't pissed off enough. Let me repeat it. Hanson. Fucking.
Welcome. You have now tuned in to the Blackout and Shout podcast with your host, Mike Kincaid.
Can I tell you that Baby Yoda just annoys the shit out of me?
Because you haven't watched The Mandalorian.
Oh, look at Baby Yoda, so huge. Levy Curry.
Some people do all sorts of crazy stuff, like dinosaur romance novels. Those are really a thing. Taken by the T-Rex. A billionaire dinosaur forced me. Ravaged by the raptors.
I wonder if there's audiobooks of them.
And Jed Vargo.
He was always like well known for wearing the Nazi outfit on.
Captain Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo.
Didn't he have the...
No. And he's not dressed up as a Nazi either.
So sit back. Mike, are you... Listen to me. Relax. Say, transform and roll out. And enjoy the show. So which one of you guys are hosting tonight?
I'm hosting.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'll host.
Oh, okay.
I said I was going to host.
Oh, I thought you were like...
Open your ears, Jed.
But why? Mike wasn't here last week.
No, I'm cool hosting.
What's wrong with the dog?
Yeah. Simple. He's been licking his asshole for the last 3 straight hours.
I have a question. All right. What's with the chops? Kind of, if you go with the buzz cut, you kind of look like Wolverine's clone from Logan.
I was going more for a Sabretooth feel. You know, Liv Schreiber's Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Hello, brother. Or is that more of a husky Damon from Vampire Diaries? Hello, brother.
That's reference. What's Vampire Diaries? Oh, it's that show you watch.
Yeah,
with the other 40 other women while you fold your wash.
Damn straight. Vampire Diaries for life.
Yeah, right. Ethan Somerhalder, right?
Yeah. Ian Somerhalder.
Ethan, whatever, same fucking thing.
Ian Somerhalder.
Gotcha.
Total man crush.
All right. Well, since you're the host with the most,
what episode is this?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Jed!
Jesus,
you're the show. You're the showrunner.
Jesus Christ. 169.
Nice.
Is that right?
Nice.
Is it?
Well, I'm totally hosting now.
I don't know. I know it's in the 160 somewhere. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me look at the last one that was uploaded.
I think it's 169.
Blackout Show podcast. What the fuck? Okay. No, it's 168.
Oh.
Because the last one was 167. Surely you can't be serious.
So we're 168.
Man, one off.
Are you sure about that?
That's what it says. I'm only going by what you posted, Jed.
Wait, who did we have on? We had
Nate
on last.
Yeah.
Was he that one?
Yeah,
I guess it was that one. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, April 24th.
Yeah. Well, you could host.
It is now Friday, May 5th.
2 weeks from now, then, too, if you want. Then you could be on the 169 podcast.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, did you like that on the that post you put up yesterday of the fridge with Vanessa's ass cheeks hanging out, and the number of likes was 69. And I screenshotted that with a quickness. The number of likes, not Vanessa's ass.
We got talking about gay social media shit.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So, what, episode 168, right? All right. 3, 2, Hello and welcome to the Blackout and Shout podcast. This is episode 138. 168. Shit. I fucked up already. And I'm not even high.
Maybe it should be.
Episode 168 of the Blackout and Shout podcast. I am your host this wonderful evening, Levy Curry. Thank you. And, this is a show where a bunch of dipshits just get together and shoot the shit, and what are we going to talk about? Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go.
There's grapes on here. The grape color.
Sitting ahead from me, for realsies this time, because we're actually live in this, or we're together in the studio at Mike's house. But yeah, directly in front of me is Mr. Jed Vargo. Say hello, Jed.
Hello, Jed.
Good man. And off in the corner there, we got Mr. Internet Celebrity and member of the California Penal League, apparently, Mr. Mike Kincaid.
Never heard of it.
How you doing? How you doing,
Fuck
Mike?
you, Vaughn. I'm doing all right, Levy.
So, what do we want to talk about tonight, guys?
Well,
Enough's enough.
We're out. All right, good show. Let's wrap it up.
Let's just put it up and let's see what people feel about a 45-second episode.
That would be fantastic. So, well, how's the life of Jed in these last 2 weeks?
okay. Just been chillaxing and working and stuff.
Chillaxing, relaxing, all kinds of.
Yeah, I was waiting for a month for yesterday, and Star Wars Visions came out.
Oh, okay,
The second season of the Star Wars anime inspired stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not anime inspired. The anime studios made Star Wars, and then Studio. Ooh, wait, who did Legend of Korra?
Titmouse? No. No, Titmouse does Legend of Vox Machina and shit.
No.
People from the Legend of Korra made Titmouse, I think.
Oh my god, I forgot the name of the studio now. Anyway, but they did an
I'll look it up
episode
for you.
which was really good, and one of the guys that I follow on Twitter because of his animation did like a bunch of the animation in that episode for the fight scenes and stuff like that, and it was really good.
Studio Mir.
That's it, Studio Mir.
Yes.
But the first episode that was called Sith was so fucking awesome. I've just been thinking about that like for the past 14 hours since I saw it or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was just the art stylization of it is amazing. I couldn't. It's like a painted effect, but it's like you have to see it because it's like a painted effect, but then it's like black and white with broken lines. And it's like her vision is like everything is becoming painted, but like the darkness is seeping in, and then there's the reality part of it, and it has this really fucking cool style to it. It's kind of like Spider-Verse, but like on crack. It's really fucking cool. But yeah, I was really waiting for that. Have you watched like any of those Star Wars Visions?
Not yet.
Man,
It's a series,
an ongoing list of
Mike's
like.
probably not going to watch
Well,
it.
animes. I'll watch an anime series. Though,
well, that's cool because
surprisingly enough.
it's an anthology, right?
Yeah.
So each episode, and it's only like about maybe 10 to 12 minutes each episode.
Yeah.
So it's quick. So you could hit them like once you put. I was just watching that. Did you watch any of them at all? Like the first episodes of each season are like the best, I think, so far out of all of them. But yeah, so I was like looking at that, and then lately I've been like looking into photogrammetry again, since NVIDIA has more of an updated thing to their Instant GPT with machine learning, which I've been getting into a lot of AI machine learning shit lately too, which is crazy. So, but that's my world right now. Oh, and just doing regular work too. Other than that, I went to PinFest with Sean today. That was an experience. PinFest. It was like
PinFest?
pinball convention. Yeah, not Pimp Fest. That would be even more interesting, though. I think for the pimp convention, it'd be cool. See Captain Kangaroo Pimp there and
chocolate giddy up. But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
What was Arsenio Hall's character? Like Freezy or something like that? Or
Oh, I can't remember.
Freezy or anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember any. I can't remember all the names of the pimps of the Pimp Council.
How about you, Kangaroo Captain Kangaroo Pimp? Another movie you should watch, Mike. Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite. Yeah, fucking great movie.
Anyway, so it was a pinball convention over at Ag Hall, which was interesting because it was all pinballs with some arcade stuff.
Yeah.
So
Is that going to be going on all weekend, or is it just today?
I think it might have been today and tomorrow.
Oh, okay, because Brent might like that because Brent's really into pinball machines.
Yeah, well, that's perfect for him then. Yeah, it's $20 to cover, and there's a lot of shit there. You know, they have like stuff that you can't buy and other stuff, but there was like a lot of parts you can buy. You could buy games there. Yeah. I asked the one lady, they had a Tron fucking pinball machine. It was all decked out, you know, flashing neon shit. I said, how much was that? She's, oh, it's not for sale. I said, oh, well, if it was, I said, how much would you sell for? She's like, $30,000. I'm like, holy.
Yeah, a lot of these vintage machines are there. Like,
this
really
is vintage. This is like from the Tron Legacy movie.
Oh,
Tron.
Yeah. Oh, that Tron.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. But that is surprising then.
Do you know what was kind of cool? They were selling an electrical component that they invented was that where you have all these buttons and stuff for your, you know, like your board, right? Like you're playing Street Fighter or whatever, right? So a lot of times when you're using emulators, you have to use like one of these buttons or two buttons in combination to do like a start select or something. Well, they created like these lines and wires so that you could use like coin change, the pushing the coins change for coin return as a button.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of ingenious, you know, to do that. So, but yeah, they had a bunch of old and new pinball games there, a bunch of parts. They were selling one guy was selling t-shirts, but not that much. Most of the stuff there was marquees, some comic books, some random fucking shit here and there. Some guy was selling an Eagles football Christmas album for $50 or some shit like that.
The offensive line did like some Christmas songs. Jason Kelsey,
Mike would know about this.
Yeah,
Lane Johnson and Milata.
I thought that was a little expensive, probably for that, so I didn't get it.
It was well, I'm not really sure what there's like. Yeah, it was like a pre-order type thing.
It was pretty fucked up.
So,
but yeah, it wasn't. I was like, I didn't even know that the Eagles sang.
So Jason Kelsey was decent. And Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey were both decent. Milata is like professional.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he got some pipes on him.
Wow. Cool.
The Australian guy. The rugby guy that they got playing left tackle. Sings like a fucking angel.
But yeah, it was cool. You know, Levy, how some of those conventions, they smell like fucking, you know, ass and fucking sweat, basically. Yeah. It's fucking stinky. This place smelled like cigarettes and sawdust. So it had the bowling alley smell, you know. So not all conventions smell like fucking, you know, dick or fucking ass. So
it smells like dick.
Yeah.
It smells like dick here.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I was waiting for the waft.
Well, I'm very pleasantly surprised when a place doesn't smell like dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I walked right in and
I am pleasantly surprised.
I was like, what's that? I'm like, smells like fucking, cigarettes and sawdust. That smells
like hey, at least it don't smell like dick.
Yeah. Fucking dirty dick smell.
I'm trying to think of the last time I've been somewhere where it smelled like dick. I'll tell you this much though. Sometimes after you know, a pair of softball games in the middle of summer, especially if you hang out in the parking lot after and you have a rip or two, you know, and then you get home and it's like that first, like when you first unload your balls into the water, into the shower water, and you get that fucking
Famunda cheese.
So in there, it smells like dick in there sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Basically, it's the uncleansed fucking smell. Unclean.
The swamp
outcast, unclean.
You got to do like the Ace Ventura app. People just like walk behind and go, "Wash your scrotum. Your balls are nasty."
How about you, Mike?
I've had a busy week or 3 since the last time I saw you guys. I guess it would have been 3.
4.
4 weeks, yeah.
We record every 2 weeks, not every week and a half.
Well, no, because it would have been Yeah, 4 weeks.
Or score.
How many weeks?
4 weeks ago.
30 days.
How many weeks ago did you see us last? Oh,
Mike and Kate
3 or 4.
set forth across this great nation.
But yeah, working a lot. So I actually watched I watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie, by the way.
Hey, me too. Hey, we can talk about it. Yeah.
About that.
Cool. We can talk about the movie.
I got into the chat when the Jedflix announced it, and I was like, ooh. Yeah.
Did you get the subtitle file with it too?
I didn't. When I just played it, right, there was no subtitle. I mean, I'm sure you could probably turn them on, maybe, but I didn't put them on.
No, it was an
have to turn 'em
MP4 where you actually needed the extra file on the side to get them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't bother with
It
all
was
that.
like when the Red Wizard chick was talking to the assassin wizard dude, and they were talking in some like cool, funky D&D language. There was like no subtitles.
Yeah, I just blew right through that.
Yeah,
part.
you're like
I just
you
assumed,
put your own subtitles in.
I assumed
Yo,
that,
what's up?
I assumed I just wasn't supposed to know what they were saying, like in the beginning of the thing, like when the Swedish guys are all yelling and shit, you know,
Swedish guys.
or the Norwegian guys.
Norwegian.
The when they're yelling at the fucking dog, they're chasing the dog in the beginning of the thing, and they're in the helicopter.
Are we talking about the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
movie.
he just
I'm like,
thought-
what Norwegian dude? I'm like, what dog?
He thought I was being like Joe Biden and shit. Like, hey, you know the thing.
I'm like, what fucking movie did you download?
No, I'm just saying it. Like I wasn't supposed to know what they were saying.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It wasn't long. It was just a couple little bits here and there. But yeah, there was
a little bit.
There was
Yeah.
a subtitles file.
If you actually speak Norwegian, then the whole movie was
The whole
spoiled for
movie
you.
was ruined. Yeah. I got a couple. I finished actually 2 new shirts, which are both up on the website. Long sleeve and short sleeve right now, but I finished up the various wavelengths shirt, which isn't an original idea. I've seen that before, like with Darth Vader, the 4 or 9, like in a grid, and he's got the helmet on, and it's like happy, sad, and pissed off, this, that, the other thing. I did one like that for
Wait, what'd you do?
I did like that for Shockwave.
Shockwave. Different moods.
Oh, okay. Wait, he doesn't have any expressions though.
That's the joke.
Oh, I get. There's no expressions.
That's the
They're all
joke.
the same.
That's
so it's like a
the
3
joke.
by 3 grid of all the same
It's
things.
like
okay.
yeah,
Now,
it's
I
like,
gotcha. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, here we go.
Sorry. New contacts. Who dis?
Joke.
Oh, okay.
So that's on the website, dragonstarshop.com, and I finished up the Go Birds shirt is the Wawa logo, but Go Birds instead of Wawa,
Sheets is better.
which was an idea that shout out to my boy Chris from the brick shop, the Bucks County Brick Shop, actually gave me that idea about 3.5 years ago, and as a goof, because we were coming back from the Toronto trip, and we were Go Birds and everything, so he was like, hit me up, and it was like he needed a Go Birds shirt in the Wawa font, and I did it back then, but I never actually like made the shirt, so now I made that available, and it's been doing pretty well. So that one's also on the website.
And like a fine wine, you just let it sit. And
I just let it sit. Yeah, you know what?
Acquire
But then I was
aging and
thinking though
taste.
too, is like if I would have put it out back then, I don't know if it would have done as well because the Eagles were not very good in those couple of years. So now everybody's all fired up, fresh off the Super Bowl, and good draft picks. Jalen Hurts signed and everything. And now it's like everybody's kind of fired up on the Birds now. So maybe it was a good time to wait. Trying to think of what I got. I just got a couple G.I. Joes. Got the double dealer since the last time I saw you guys, the Dick Bird and the Drift, IDW Drift, that wonderful trans. I got that thing. Drift from IDW, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which version? Good.
The
Drift
good,
or bad?
good Drift. Yeah. Yeah. Because Bad Drift, what was his? He had a different name, didn't he? Deadlock. He was Deadlock when he was a bad guy.
Okay.
And I opened up them Quints, the asparagus arms.
Is it everything you hoped?
Yeah, they were I feel like they're all kind of big. I feel like the Quintesson and the...
Well, they were kind of big, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but they just... I don't know. I guess like from screen to like sitting in front of me with other robots around them, it was like, wow, these guys are fucking big, but they look good. They look pretty good.
Well, if you remember, like the judges were bigger than like the prosecutor or the whatever.
Yeah.
Which was the ones? The whip?
That was that might have been the bailiff.
Bailiffs, whatever. They were bigger. So, and then you put the next to like Ultra Magnus. He was like half, like up to his shoulder. So he's pretty, they were pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. Yeah, they are pretty big.
So they're bigger than Carbots and stuff. Yeah.
So, and I got some shit off the, when Hasbro Pulse. Shit off the Hasbro Pulse site when they had their little warehouse sale.
Oh, yeah?
I got a Speedball figure and Alex Summers. I got the Havoc. What the hell else did I get? Legion.
I asked you about that when they announced it. You were like, "Nah, I'm not going to get them."
Yeah, I wasn't going to, and then I did, like, maybe I was like, I don't know, because like, or I went Mezco. Mayfex was putting them out, but like they're so slow doing their '90s X-Men. So I was like, maybe I'll just get a couple that I don't know that they'll ever do, like Forge. You know what I mean? Mayfex ain't ever going to do a fucking Forge. I mean, they might, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I'm sure they're going to go through all their big guys first, you know. So,
well, they made. Who are we talking about? Marvel Legends?
No, like Mayfex, like one of the third party, not a third party, but like one of the import
more expensive,
Mayfex.
companies.
Or
no, you were saying Mayfex is never going to put out a Forge, so you were going to get it from.
Yeah, I got like characters like that. Like that's like my Marvel collection. I'm gonna if I feel like they're gonna come out with them, I'll wait on like a nicer one, but if it's a character that I'm not sure that they would ever bother with, I'm just gonna get Legends, you know.
Yeah. And they came out with a Marvel Legends Forge, and actually they have two of them now.
No, but that was my point. I'm getting like those kind of characters. I'm getting Marvel Legends.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, you know, the Spider-Man and the Iron Man and the Wolverines of the world and shit. I wait for some of those are out already, but. Who the hell else? I got the old Scarlet Witch, the old school Scarlet Witch. I'm really into getting more like the comic book versions. I don't know if you guys more into like getting any of the movie versions.
No,
but
comic.
I really would rather have the comic book versions.
I get some of them. Well, actually, I am getting like the Endgame MCU figures because I got like Captain America and Thor and Iron Man.
Now the Black Panther that you got me, I know they looks more like the video game.
The Amazing Yamaguchi?
Yeah, it gives me movie vibes a little bit because of the way they did the texture of his and the Iron Man was a little more movie-ish. Like
the Iron Man, the Iron Man's more that's the bleeding edge armor. That's comic.
Is it comic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that Amazing Yamaguchi does a more anime stylization with their stuff,
which is cool. Like, cause I like that a lot better like than that old school Iron Man, like with the fucking widow's peak and shit, just the plain old yellow and orange, just red or whatever the fuck he was way back.
That Black Panther, it's got the texturing of like the MCU thing, but it's I mean, it definitely does have the stylings of the MCU Black Panther, but it's got the standard Amazing Yamaguchi proportions and whatnot. So I mean, I think they really got the Marvel Capcom thing going
on with a lot of their shit. Like
it's stuff
that Captain America looked like that too. He's like a big guy, man, like stocky.
Yeah, he's big and thick. So
Jesus Christ,
it's America's ass.
So
America's chode.
That's if he would have
big and thick.
When he hit him, if he would have fell down and he would have fell down like on his back rather than on his, he would have been laying on his back. In America's dude, it would have changed the whole. Yeah, it would have changed the whole path of the Marvel universe, man. That's America's show.
In some dimension, this has happened.
It's a T-shirt. I don't know why anybody would ever wear that, but
that's America's chode.
That's America's chode. And it would be, who would it be? It would be like Rocket Raccoon or some shit. His little fucking rabbit penis. So
did you see that? Speaking of Iron Man, that Mezco has a Silver Centurion. coming out.
Just went up today. I think.
1/12.
Yeah, either today or yesterday it went up. I think it went up yesterday for pre-order. So did that ever go for pre-order on BBTS? Because I didn't see that it was a Mezco exclusive.
Probably because I got an email about it.
Oh, okay.
Or Mezco put it up for a pre-order.
Yeah, it's on BBTS.
It was surprising for me because
It looks cool.
I didn't expect them to do like a hard shell type of character because they're known for their soft goods.
Oh no, this is their third Iron Man they put out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they put out the standard red and yellow. It was actually the 80s styled Iron Man, but with like more modern looking detailings in the suit or in the armor. And then they did the stealth armor, which actually they did or BBTS had a sale price on that earlier this week. So, and then they announced this Silver Centurion. So, and it's got all the standard electronics or the eyes and the.
Did you say lies?
Yeah,
The lies. All the lies come with your figure.
Yeah,
Like a waist swivel.
Eyes.
No.
The eyes and the chest piece light up and
Cool.
so. And I don't think the hands light up for the repulsors on the hands, but
He just has jazz hands.
yeah. I mean, you can put a blast effects in there, but they don't. I don't think those light up. So,
What have you been up to, Levy?
oh man. Well, I've finally been able to play Last of Us without my game crashing on PC.
I heard there was some patches that are supposed to help some people.
Yeah. 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 And this whole thing of PC ports,
No more burnt up matchstick Joel.
Joel in blackface. Holy shit, that was unfortunate.
Is that a bug or a feature?
That was an unfortunate bug. And
I'm a dude,
freaking
dude disguised as another.
That's a downloadable content you could purchase.
yeah. Yeah, no more caveman Ellie. You seen that one, right? Where she like her textures are just all rough and everything like that. She's got these big thick eyebrows and shit. Yeah, some of the glitches in that game were funny, man.
glitches.
Yeah,
I call them features. Options that you can turn on and off.
Yeah, no, this whole trend of freaking PC ports fucking being shit on like fucking day one is getting out of control. Fucking that new Star Wars game that came out is a sequel to
Jedi.
Yeah,
Survivor.
Well, the sequel's called Jedi Survivor. The first one was Jedi Outcast or something like that. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. But it's the Cal Kestis game, and so the sequel came out, Jedi Survivor, and the PC port, man, it's fucking ran like shit day one, and
I read about that. There was actually some fan who made a DLSS fucking patch for it, and it runs great now.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to have unfortunate enough to have a 4000 series graphics card. So, or not. I mean, it's like, the 4000 series isn't hard to get a hold of. It's just that they're way overpriced. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it only works, for those cards because it utilizes the frame generation that DLSS 3 has, which doesn't apparently work on 3000 series cards. So
I've been finding out a lot about NVIDIA's SDKs just by looking into that whole photogrammetry stuff.
Yeah.
Because of NVIDIA's contribution to that, where before it would take a few hours to run it. Now it takes a few seconds. It's crazy. That fucking machine language that they improved on.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
So, speaking of PCs, I finally installed my Christmas gift that April gave me with those RGB power cables for my power cables for my GPU and my 24 pin cable for the motherboard.
And now your computer runs 15% faster.
Yeah. So thing looks like a fucking rave in there. You saw it, right, Mike?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it in the
fucking
chat.
Shit looks fucking sweet.
Does.
So, yeah, so I got that, finally got that done. I'm building April's second computer right now.
It's her porn computer.
Yeah, April's porn computer. See here.
Delivery.
Cinco.
Aw.
Ooh.
Oh.
Somebody was like, grab.
Did you, Vanessa?
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Air fryer. Not as good as the ones in the lab. So good enough.
Thanks, Vanessa. I
Thank
thought you were just bringing Mike his dinner.
Well, yeah, it is Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
So
Yes,
happy Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo to all those who celebrate. I'm not Mexican. So I don't.
Grande.
Yeah, I'm not Mexican and I don't drink, so I don't really celebrate. So,
We grew out of it, huh?
well, I never was in it.
What, drinking?
No, being Mexican.
Being Mexican. Because, it's a Mexican holiday, but plus, I don't drink, so.
But
Those
you
days
used
are
to.
over.
Yeah, I used to. Never really enjoyed it myself, but I just did it because,
You used to drink and smoke
I'll still smoke.
and party
Yeah, well, I haven't partied.
and be Mexican.
I haven't partied. I haven't partied in years, but
Those days are long past. Now
I'll still
it's-
smoke. I'll still smoke when the time is right.
The time's going to happen soon, I believe. Because I think the right people are in place for that to happen.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
who are the right people?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get all political or whatever, but it's typically like Republicans don't.
Oh,
don't
I see what you're saying. The
weed.
legalization of it.
Democrats do like weed, and there's Democratic people in
Oh,
place.
the legalization, the legal status of it don't bother me none. I'll smoke.
Well, no, but I mean, like the only reason illegal, like I want to wait until, like the second it happens, I want to do 10 pots.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
We should just get our cards. We should just get our cards. They're cheap and they're easy to get. I have back problems and anxiety, don't you?
Yeah, I have back problems, and yeah, anxiety too. Sure.
And a slight case of glaucoma.
Yeah, that's funny. There's something else I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it is now.
Weed.
This episode is dedicated to Brother Kyle. For everyone eating chips while we're recording.
I think I got hot sauce in my eye.
How do you do that?
Apparently, I rub my eyes too much.
How do you do that? Like that happened to you when we did the one chip challenge too.
I had one of those left and I threw it the fuck out. We were hanging on to it, and I'm like, I was
Oh
looking
yeah,
at it
no, I
like,
threw that out too.
why do I still have this? Like one day I'm gonna wake up and go, you know what? Today's the day. I feel like having another one of those.
No, never again.
Is it like the dude was on the fucking the video that I sent you guys? Is it like where it's just a whole day experience? It's not just like an hour. It's like for the whole day because you got the
So-
shits afterward.
I'll tell you a funny detail about it, but I came home and I went to eat her pussy, and it was no good for her.
Wow,
She had to get.
that's like a detail I didn't really need to know.
She asked me to stop and go down to the freezer and get her ice.
Stop, drop, and roll.
It was a stop, drop, and roll moment. Yeah, I didn't think it would be on your lips that long. I washed my face, I brushed my teeth,
April refused to let me touch her.
but apparently it was still in there. Yeah.
Was that before or after the chip?
Oh, ever.
Ever.
Before, after, for all time.
For all time.
Has she practiced with the bosun whistle at all? Or she just look at it like, oh, that's nice, and throw it on the side?
I don't even think she knows how to use it.
That's why I should look at a video and like figure out how it goes, like, you have to cup it and type of thing.
Yeah.
So, Dungeons and Dragons, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it too.
That was a great fucking movie.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. It was pretty good.
I love the scene where they went to talk to the dead. that first corpse they
So spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, people aren't used to all of us like seeing the movie.
We're gonna talk about the movie
at the same
and
time.
most likely more than ever so spoil it. And if we're still talking about it, then you better just fast forward through it. But yeah, the scene where they're talking with the dead.
Yeah.
So outside of a couple of slight mishaps, I never actually like really played Dungeons and Dragons, but
Accidentally.
I did accidentally a couple times, but I did used to like reading the monster manuals and looking at the pictures and reading about all the monsters and shit back in the day. So it was cool to see like there was some throwbacks in that movie that took me back to like paging through those books when I was younger.
Like which one?
Like the Displacer Beast.
Oh yeah,
was
that's
fucking
a classic.
cool.
Yeah,
that's an old classic.
Cube.
Yeah.
Did you like the Easter egg of the or the cameo of the original cartoon characters?
Yeah. I because I was keeping my eyes open because I remember you had said something about that before.
It's hard to miss. They're fucking right there and up in your face.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how out they were going to be. What's the beholder's name again? They had that
Betty.
His name is Betty.
Betty the Beholder. Yeah, Betty the Beholder. There was no Beholder in it actually.
But there was. I saw that. Yeah.
At the end credits, he was in it. In the drawing.
But he's probably gonna. They're gonna do more of these. I would think, right?
One would hope.
I would think with the success, the critical acclaim, and the profit they made from it, yeah, I would think so.
It beat the shit out of the last fucking Dungeons and Dragons movie I went to see.
Oh my god! Did you notice that they did tribute that with the rug that turned the sand?
No, I actually never watched that movie.
Oh, you're
What?
lucky.
Yeah, I never watched that movie. Remember, I didn't go with you guys to see that. I had to work.
That was my first. I went to go see that with Jenny. That was my first date. So that should have been all I needed.
Foreshadowing.
To know. Foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't miss. You're lucky. It's kind of like me not seeing The Last Airbender. It's like one of those things that you know to stay away from.
Yep.
Well, that whole thing where they sit into the rug, like the sand, that was in the first movie. Well,
okay.
The very first movie they did. So that was the only part that was actually kind of good. But being a nerd and everything, you did notice that the final fight there, how they were doing like the whole attack of opportunities and and like the magic missile, there's 3 darts that hit.
Yep.
And all the different spells that were cast was kind of cool.
And the Bigby's hand and the
Finger of Death and all the other spells. It was kind of cool. Like they were being very, and the whole game system when they were going through the maze, those are all like 5 foot by 5 foot squares.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's
like the actual grid that you would play when you're fucking
the mimic.
a mimic.
And not for nothing. I'm glad they kind of did it like with the comedic thing because I didn't really want to see another fucking Lord of the Rings, and I mean I like all that shit or whatever, but like I just didn't like. I'm just over just serious fantasy stuff right now.
They did it well that way.
Like super epic, fantasy. Yeah.
It was, someone mentioned that it was kind of like if you were just to take a group of people sitting down and playing the game and just made it into a movie. That's exactly how majorities of the groups would play.
Well, it's like any game that I've ever run because like I try to, I tell these guys like I kind of want to take things a little bit more seriously this time around, and it just devolves into debauchery and fuckery, and and I blame Nate really.
Yeah.
Nate and Joe.
Yeah. I don't really help either.
No, not really. So, like, I love when Kyle plays. Like, he really tries to take it seriously, and then you got you, Nate, and Joe there just fucking just doing shit. Oh, excuse me, it's so funny.
Remember when we played that a couple of times and Scotty was speaking in like a Scottish accent and shit? That caught me off guard a little bit. I'm like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing voices.
Role playing, man.
We're role playing.
Yeah.
Now, I do voices and stuff when I run a game sometimes. They tend to sound the same though.
They're all from the same area of Ireland. No, it's fun. It was a fun movie. I think probably one of the funniest parts was when they had the illusion of him playing the lute, and he kept fucking skipping.
Yeah.
He's a bird.
That was so disturbing to look at, but it was hilarious.
I love that fucking chick, by the way, man. That fucking ass kicker chick, man. The one from she was in
Michelle Rodriguez.
What else was she in? She was in Resident Evil and whatever.
Michelle
Avatar.
Rodriguez. Yeah.
The fat dragon
Thumberchod.
from Thumberchode.
I love how they animated him like a big fat cat.
Yeah, they did.
The dude that played the wizard, what's his name?
Simon?
Yeah, Simon. What's his actor's name?
I don't remember.
Justin Smith? Or is that right? Justice Smith?
Maybe.
I think that
Sounds about right.
He was funny. He had a lot of good.
Oh, I may have set off the mechanism.
Did you see now? There's this big debate online about how it's supposed to be a fucking reference, but then other people saying that no, it's just coincidence. But how he's talked about, he's like fresh cut grass. You like that smell? Everyone likes the smell of fresh cut.
Yeah, no, I caught that right away.
People were saying, it's a call out to like Critical Role.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people were like, no, it was done filming.
No, I'm
before
pretty
we
sure
even
that
do
was a reference to Critical Role. I mean, it's got to be.
It was pretty fucking tongue in cheek if it.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. So.
And plus, I mean, how often does the phrase "fresh cut grass" come up in conversation?
Right. Huh?
No, that was clearly a Critical Role Easter egg.
Did you notice that the mimic appeared 2 times?
When?
The second time was when it was the cart with the clams, and the mimic tongue came out of the one clam.
I don't remember that.
I have to watch.
Are you sure it wasn't just a clam fucking doing its clam thing? Because clams do that.
It looked just like the mimic tongue.
Yeah, well, the clams do that. They're basically just big muscles that will like come out of their shell because that's how they move. Clams move.
I read it online, Levy. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I read it
clams
online.
do that. Clams
it makes sense.
They have what's called a foot, and it'll come out of the shell, grab a piece of the ground, and drag themselves along.
No, this was like the big long mimic tongue, like from the treasure chest. So
I don't know. I don't buy it.
Anyway, the 2 rust monsters fighting over the lock. Do you see those?
No.
You didn't see when they were,
I probably did. I just don't remember.
they look like crabs. They were kind of pulling out on the top of the one beam. They were fighting over a metal lock. Let's see. What was some of the other cool things that were in that?
I saw a couple. Or maybe I get my monsters mixed up. A cockatrice, is that what I saw? They were up in the rafters and shit. They looked like they were weird looking. It was towards the beginning of the movie. There was a lot of. And what were those birds called? The chocobo looking things.
Axe beaks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because their beaks are in the shape of an axe.
Right.
the whole thing with Joffrey? No, Jonathan. Jonathan. Yeah,
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah,
Jonathan. No.
That was funny. That was funny.
No, it was good. Yep, it was well written.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the paladin guy, he was definitely a DMPC.
That was pretty funny though. That was another one of my other funniest parts of the movie when he was talking. He's like, "Yeah, he's not even going to move over that rock, right? Yeah, he's going to walk right over it. Yep, there he goes, walks right over it." But yeah, it was good. I watched Renfield, and it was good. Every single scene with Nicolas Cage in it was fucking amazing.
I couldn't tell if it was going to suck and be stupid or if it was
the
going to
middle parts
be stupid and funny.
It was kind of it was kind of but everything with him in it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because they started out the movie where they literally went back to like the old movie Dracula things with like the black and white things and its actual scenes, and they kind of put him in those scenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it looked really good.
That's
but
funny.
yeah, he was fantastic. It was fucking really good. And then I watched The Pope's Exorcist.
How was that?
That was good too. It kept me interested enough to like it.
Did you say that's on Net? Or yeah,
I'm gonna put him up.
I
got him, but I gotta put him up on Jedflix.
Hi diddly diddly.
Hello there, neighbor.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing The Pope's Exorcist.
That one was kind of a little rough because that was in Spanish, Italian, English, and fucking Latin.
Yeah.
Fucking there's like 4 different fucking subtitle things. I kept turning it on and off. So I gotta find a good like version of that. But yeah, that was. It wasn't like one of the best Exorcist movies because you kind of saw what's up, but there were some parts of it that was like real interesting. Like it was like a little bit of mystery to it.
Yeah.
So they were like, that kept me like, interested in watching to see how it turned out. But it was good.
So every once in a while, I'll catch like a horror movie that's been out for a while, but
like Phantoms.
like,
Did you watch Phantoms yet?
no.
You were the bomb in Phantoms.
Gotta watch it. I fucking put that up there too.
Did anybody see Malignant yet?
No. I heard it wasn't very good.
Sound familiar? What was it about?
Can I just spoil the shit out of it for you? Because you ain't never gonna watch it. So the whole time this movie, they're selling the killer. There's this as a like a supernatural thing, like this girl's secret friend, imaginary friend when she was little. I think his name was, I want to say Damien. No, it wasn't Damien. It was Gabriel. I remember it was like a biblical name. Anyway, and she loses touch with the imaginary friend for like a while, and then after, so she has this abusive husband, and he smashes her, throws her up against a wall, and her head hits the wall, and it like jars the imaginary friend loose. And then the imaginary friend like goes on this killing spree like while she's sleeping.
Is this an R-rated Drop Dead Fred?
I never saw Drop Dead Fred.
It's that movie with Phoebe Cates, and she has that imaginary friend that shows up after like 20 years, and she's an adult.
Well, so but
it's like Harvey comedy romp.
I remember that movie.
They sell it the whole time as imaginary friend, but then the big twist at the end is that you find out that, and this is some real shit because I remember American Horror Story, the circus, not the circus one. Remember that one character? He was like the real creepy character in the top hat and the coat and all that shit, but he also had that evil face on the back of his head.
Yeah.
So that was apparently a real thing. But anyways, this girl had one when she was younger, and it was a conjoined twin, but all it had was a little pair of arms coming out her back.
Okay, so this is just like fucking that Stephen King book.
What's that?
What was it called? I'll look it up. It was a movie that was either in the late 80s or early 90s.
He had all he was a face on the back of her head and these 2 little arms coming out of her back. And they basically removed what they could, and then they tucked the rest of them inside her brain and just fucking sealed her up. And she was fine up until the point where her head made the impact, and that like woke him up. So the whole time, like when she would fall asleep, the other entity would take over her body. But it was an interesting watch. Like if you went back and watched some scenes after you found that shit out, because the way the killer moved was like, all the like the knees and the elbows were all backwards and shit like that. And he moved, the killer moved like really awkwardly and shit. And then you realize why after they like put the twist on. But yeah, I mean, it was a little ridiculous because at one point he goes into this like Bruce Lee parkour fucking fight in the police in the precinct and just kills everybody. He's doing all kinds of crazy ass backflips and fucking spinning back hooks and all his other shit. You know what I mean? And just he's just taking everybody out. Well, he was fully grown because at that point he was the
Wung Fu.
He was the girl, like the girl backwards. But yeah, it was a twisted fucking movie, man. I'm glad I watched it. It wasn't a great movie, but it was,
So Stephen King wrote a book in 1989 called The Dark Half. Do you remember hearing about that?
I know of The Dark Half.
There's a movie was made of it in 1993. And it was basically the same plot. And it wound up that the guy was like, he was a conjoined twin. And then he was going around killing people and shit like that. No?
Yeah, this was
did the same thing.
This was a James Wan movie. Not that makes any difference, but
Michael Rooker was in it.
Who?
Michael Rooker.
In The Dark Half?
Yeah. And George Romero directed it. Wow.
George Romero directed it?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a zombie movie?
No, and was starred Timothy Hutton.
Okay, that I remember.
I didn't know George Romero directed it.
You guac guy? I tried guac for the first time like a couple of weeks ago.
There was a brand called Holy Guacamole. It's actually really good. Anyways, typical like about a guy who's an author, you know, from fucking Maine area type of thing.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of how Stephen King, all Stephen King.
yeah.
Like Secret Garden is the same way.
So he has
Was it Secret Garden or was it Secret?
mysteriously becomes a physical entity, begins terrorizing his family, friends, emerges from the grave, kills people, and it basically it's like he's like his like conjoined twin, you know, coming back to fucking murder everybody. So
What's that Johnny Depp movie where he thinks that guy is plagiarizing him? Or no, that guy thinks Johnny Depp plagiarized his book and he harasses him and terrorizes him and stuff, and it turns out it's just a split personality. It's
something like Cabin something.
Secret something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was
Secret Window.
Secret Window.
Yeah, Secret Window. Yeah, that was a.
Wait, wasn't that originally an Alfred Hitchcock movie?
It was, well, I mean, the story was from Stephen King's 4 Past Midnight.
Oh, okay. What am I thinking? What movie am I thinking of Alfred Hitchcock where it was somebody in the window saw a murder across the street or something? Or
Yeah, it was Gregory Peck.
Yeah. Well, they did a remake of it then, too.
Yeah. Rear Window? No.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
They just put The Birds on Netflix.
Go Birds!
Yeah. I never saw The Birds. You ever see it?
A long time ago.
Yeah, maybe it is Rear Window. Yeah, Rear Window.
I'll put Phantoms up. It's a good movie. I rewatched it the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Jetflix?
On Jetflix, I'll put it up. I'll put up like 3 or 4 movies on Jetflix.
Speaking of Jetflix, by the way.
And I'll put the first episode of each Star Wars Visions up there too.
Okay.
Sorry, new contacts. Who dis?
I watched that Mad God.
Yeah. Phil Tippett's.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking visionary.
Well, so visually and like technically speaking, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like incredibly done, incredibly animated. The way that they even put like live action shit mixed in.
When they were dumping out all the fucking all the insides out of the fucking dude when he was on the table and shit, they're thrown on the floor. I was like, I'm like, this fucking. I was like, this is stop motion.
But as for a movie, like,
What are we talking about?
I felt like so. It was this movie called Mad God. I saw like I watch like I listen to movie channels and shit when I'm at work, like on YouTube or whatever. You know, top 10 movies you've never seen that are fucking awesome and shit like that. So that came up and I saw a little clip of it and I'm like, it looks cool as fuck. So he grabbed it for me.
Phil Tippett is the guy that was all into like he did all the stop motion stuff from like Empire and he was gonna do the Jurassic Park stuff, and then CGI like kind of put him out of a job type of thing. Okay. He like invented the go motion, stop motion. He was all big things. So he made his own little series that he had going for years, and he started off as like just a thing, and then he made a VR version of that, Mike. So you could actually 360, you're like turning around in that fucking hell world, and you're like looking around, and it's all that shit's like everywhere, and it plays out, and it's fucking crazy. And then they past a year or two, he released just a regular, movie version of it.
So I thought it was awesome, but it was too fucking long. Only because so I got high before ahead of time because I'm like, we gotta watch that high.
From what I remember reading about it, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like one of those things where he worked on part of it, and then like a year later worked on more of it, and it was like a 10-year project or something like that, and then he finally kind of put it all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would probably have been better as like a little mini series of episodes.
I think so too. Because at one point, like an hour and 20 minutes in, I was like, I slowly went from like wide-eyed, like, wow, what the fuck am I watching? This is incredible. And I slowly went from that to like, kept clicking the thing, like, how much time is left?
Right. Yeah.
Because I think it might have been over 2 hours, or if it was close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But there was like not a piece of dialogue, or no. Somebody spoke in the middle. I think one of the human characters like that were actually like live action might have spoke in the middle, but outside of that, I don't remember a stitch of dialogue. So I'm sure everything was like really metaphoric and it meant something, but I don't know exactly what that was, and it was really hard for me to.
Yeah, it was just some fucked up shit.
Yeah, but all that being said, like from just a visual standpoint and from a talent standpoint and technical standpoint, it was pretty amazing because it was different than any other stop motion I've ever seen.
Now imagine if you were in VR and you're sitting in a chair and you can fucking spin around. You were in it. You know, it's fucking
that's
spooky and fucking. It's fucked. Some of the parts of it were
gotta make
up.
you wonder like how much went into that, man, because like, you know, you're shooting a movie, all you got to do is get what's cropped in here, but when you're doing a VR thing, like are you saying 180 or 360?
360.
That's fucking incredible to me.
Yep.
All stop motion.
Yep.
Except for some.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and I was like, what's this? I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. I have a feeling though that he probably stitched stuff. Like he probably did a scene and then did another scene and kind of stitched it into the 360 thing. So you had multiple things all happening at the same time that you could focus on.
The shit was tripping me out though, because in the very beginning, that thing was just falling really slow and people were shooting at it, and then it would go down to a next level and it just kept sinking. That little ship thing. That
I was going to say, what did they call that? That was the capsule?
Well, it kept sinking and it kept sinking and it kept sinking. And then he got to parts where he had to like go down. Like, I don't know how fucking deep he was going.
Like a nightmare version of Mist.
Yeah. But it was like, it's hard for me to accept just shit on face value. Like, oh, this dude's making this, you know, this descent into fucking hell. And then like in the one part, he's like walking down these steps or some shit through these fucking monsters are all around him. And I wasn't even thinking about him and his journey anymore. I was thinking about the guys that built the steps. Like, so like we think this dude's got a tough job. Some motherfuckers were down, like some contractors were down there fucking building shit.
It's like you're like watching the guy fucking doing the fucking rock climbing, and you forget that there's the dude with the 40 pounds of fucking cameras hanging alongside, you know, recording.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, I think the cameraman should have a show.
They showed that one. I remember the one scene there was an action movie where some dude was like running and he like dove through the driver's side window and like grabbed something and like kept going out through the passenger window of a truck or a car or some shit like that. And the fucking camera guy was running with him and ran and jumped through the back window while he was filming them and fucking kept going through the passenger window. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
It should have been real meta. There should have been a second cameraman filming the first cameraman doing all that shit.
I think that was on one of the Stuntman React thing, one of those videos.
Was it that what's it called? Extraction with Chris Hemsworth.
Maybe, I don't know, but they were showing
where the camera rig.
No, it wasn't that
went
one.
into the car.
No, I know what you're talking about. Nope, that's a different one. That was actually a lot of cuts and CGIs. This was actually where they showed them filming the guy with the camera running with the actor, and he jumped at the same time that the actor jumped and jumped through the car windows, like from the driver's side window through the passenger window, and the camera guy was filming him the whole time while he was jumping too. Yeah, no, that wasn't Extraction. It was something else, but yeah, man. Some crazy shit. But yeah, Phil Tippett's a fucking... Yeah, when it comes to that stuff, man. Whew. I saw there was a couple... some people did some interpolation of like the old stop motion thing, like Jason the Argonauts, the skeletons. Yeah. It's stuff where they would do... They added the 60 frames and they did the interpolation so the stop motion looks smoother and stuff like that. Yeah. That was kind of cool.
I want somebody to do the original... the Titans movie, the original Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Do that over again.
That'd be cool.
I remember being a little kid and watching that shit and just being like, this is fucking amazing. This dude is fighting a fucking dinosaur right now.
That was one of those movies that I always would watch whenever it was on all the time. Clash of the Titans.
To me, that was more interesting than the guy in the Godzilla suit. Even though the guy in the Godzilla suit was still fucking cool, but like when I seen the stop motion fucking monsters and the Clash of the Titans and shit, man, that shit just
especially fucking happy. Medusa with the fucking snakes and all that shit. That was fucking great. Find and fulfill your destiny.
But the greatest shit was when they would have the green screen, the dude like acting, and then he would have like the rest of the scene was like on the green screen behind him and shit,
stabbing at the fucking Cerebrus, the 3-headed dog.
And it's like everything was off, the lighting's off, contrast is off, everything's off. Fucking funny. Good shit though.
Probably the most jarring one, if I come to think of it, was what was the dude, the bad guy's name with the horns and the fucking whip? He was like the son of one of the fucking kings that was sent out to the swamp.
Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, sent out to the swamp to fucking...
Good question.
Anyway, they had him like, he was like, he had like the green skin and the horns coming out and the fucking whip and shit. I think he had a tail too. And they would have him like, he was like, they had the actor like, you know, all done up and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it would switch over to him in stop motion, like fighting the other guy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I forget what his name was.
Damn. Oops.
Did you ever watch the reboot?
Yeah. The one with, wasn't like Liam Neeson in it?
Yeah, he played Zeus.
Yeah.
Sam Worthington was...
I mean, it was fun. It was like a popcorn movie. And I'm like super into, like, I'll watch all the mythology movies. Like what was the one with, was it the Jaime Lannister played in, yes. That one was fun.
Yep, I watched
that. Like they're fun movies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as what people said it was.
The Clash of the Titans, there was that one, and then there was like I want to say, was it The Immortals? Is that another one? It might have been a Frank Miller movie.
The Immortals.
Yeah.
That one I don't remember. Was it like a live action thing?
I've heard of that one, yeah.
It was a live action thing, but it definitely had like a 300 type of look to it.
Yeah, it looked like it was in the same style as 300, but I don't think it had anything to do with Frank Miller.
No.
Who's in that one?
I'm trying to get it up here in the screen. What's the fucking thing on?
1995? That one?
No.
Nah, this was newer.
It would have been after after 300.
Maybe it wasn't called The Immortals.
Here, 2011, The Immortals. Henry Cavill.
Oh, okay. I remember that now. Yep, I remember that one. Yeah, Mickey Rourke was the bad guy. Yeah. I forgot about that movie. Yeah, that one was fun. There is that guy. Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah.
Screen Goblin?
He's got
that's the website.
You know, I thought it was his name for a second too.
Yeah.
Wait, Screen Goblin? That's a weird name.
And they had the giant scorpions in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came from Medusa's blood.
Yeah.
I remember that guy, the Cyclops.
Somebody came out in the night.
That
one of the skeletons or whatever came in the night.
No, that dude.
Oh, did he? He stabbed the bag
he had the
with
pitchfork.
Medusa's head?
He stabbed with his pitchfork, and there's 3 holes in it. Yeah.
Man, good times. I might have to watch that again soon, wherever it might be.
Met Robotic Owl.
Oh, look at that. It's the Kraken. There's the... there it is.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. Look at him. I mean, he's still scary, but man, they just don't make him like that anymore.
Was Burgess Meredith in that?
He was the Kraken. You're a bum rock.
Isn't that him right there with Perseus?
We're at
right there, right
next to the Kraken.
Yeah, right above there. Wasn't that him?
Let's look it up. Here we go. Oh, come on, man. Jesus. It's like I never typed before. I guess I can't get on there. What about the wiki? What am I? I think I picked up somebody else's Wi-Fi. Gotta love that Wi-Fi.
Is it turned off?
There we go. Cast. Here we go. Casting group.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith.
Hey. Harry Hamlin. Ursula Andress.
I don't really recognize a whole hell of a lot of them names besides British.
Well, the one name you should remember from the stop motion was Scroll down. Was it
Maggie Smith was in it?
Who's Maggie Smith?
Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
Ray Harryhausen.
Clash of the Titans, a classic, 1981 classic. Speaking of 1981 classics, actually no, I guess it would be a 1982 classic. We already talked about it, but The Thing. So
Was that 82?
yeah.
Wow.
So I saw the NECA Thing Dog.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to go back and buy McCready.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I have deluxe McCready.
And I don't even really, I'm not even much into NECA figures, but
He comes with a little petri dish and the fucking torch and everything.
Yeah, that's great, man. I might have to like keep an eye open for that, and if I find one cheap.
Yeah, dude, that thing that used to give me nightmares as a kid.
Totally.
That fucking dog.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough.
I can still hear the fucking sound in my head that it makes when it goes up into the fucking ceiling. It goes. It's like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
that whipping the wind noise and shit. Yeah.
Fuck. I will still never forget that because I was watching it as a kid. I'm like, this looks cool. And then then the dog's head fucking split open like a banana and it went, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is scary. This is cool. I gotta watch the rest of it. And it just fucking gave me nightmares for like a week.
Was it you that told me that they were trying to do a series or something like that?
Yeah, they want to reboot it into a Netflix series.
I tried looking up information on that and I couldn't really find anything anywhere.
If they do, they need to go all
I misheard. What's up?
I said if they do a series, they need to go all practical.
Yeah, but they won't.
No, they won't.
I mean, like, I'm okay with CGI when it just is enhancing shit a little bit when it comes to that kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, because I watched the prequel whenever that came out a couple of years ago.
That also was inexplicably called The Thing.
The Thing, yeah, right. And it was fine, but there was just some sort of charm about the practical effects of the first one. Yeah. Especially because it was so well done. Like, that's one that you could really like.
And the real sad part about that prequel was they did all the effects practically.
Yeah, and then they went back.
And because of studio interference, they went and covered it all up with CGI.
I wonder if there's any original cuts anywhere, like on any kind of like
probably not.
Collector DVD set.
Oh no, not anything that was released for sure.
If I remember correctly, reading or watching something about that, the special effects people that worked on it leaked it, and it's somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Yeah, but it wasn't finished, so it's still.
Yeah.
But they did leak it all.
Yeah.
Because they were so mad, they never knew about it.
Yeah, they didn't find out about it until they went into the premiere and watched it.
They were watching the premiere like, what the fuck? Where's all our shit? And then they got mad and they fucking released it all.
I can't see, god damn it.
Event Horizon. That's another movie where we'll never see the original creator's vision for that film.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's a bummer, man, because
it's like all those, like, it was like 15, 20 minutes of footage or whatever that was cut because test audiences didn't react well to the extended scenes of violence and torture.
I don't know what that makes me, but I just want to watch that. And,
pussies.
You know how sometimes you watch shit like that and you don't really want to watch it, but you want to watch it anyway because it fucks you up for a couple days and you can't stop thinking about it. Like, I just want to.
Those are the best movies, man.
Those are, man, some shit, man.
But I mean, like, if you actually watch the one scene where they do show all the real quick snippets of everything going on in that hell dimension and shit like that.
Yeah.
If you watch that shit in slow motion, it's some fucked up fucking images in that shit, man. I would love to see the freaking actual director's cut of that.
Some set designer and like makeup artist and all that shit like did all that fucking work for split seconds worth of.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what though? I guess there's something to be said for the mystery of it all. Because if we would have seen it all, then we wouldn't have to want to see it all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then he went on to make the Resident Evil movies and, you know.
Same guy.
Yep. Paul W.S. Anderson. It had to, Event Horizon had to have been before he met Mila Jovovich. Otherwise, she would have been cast in the film.
Seriously. That might be the only way she gets work.
Yeah.
What did I hear earlier this week? Again, it was on one of these like movie YouTube channels I watched, I was listening to, but Somebody, oh man, wasn't the thing? What the fuck were you just talking about? Resident Evil? No, before Resident Evil. God damn it.
Event Horizon?
Oh, Event Horizon. No. I'll have to come back to it after the brownie lets my brain go.
I remember when back early on in our relationship, me and April went and saw a movie called Ultraviolet starring Mila Jovovich. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
I believe it.
It was terrible. The special effects were it's just terrible. I couldn't believe that these special effects were in a actual full budget film.
Like, did it look like a fucking Sci-Fi Channel special?
Yeah, like might even have looked worse. It was bad.
Did that guy direct Monster Hunters? I'm just curious because it was like another
Monster Hunters,
monster like action flick, and she was in it.
Oh, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
No, that was Paul W.S. Anderson also.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did Ultraviolet or not.
Why do I know Blumhouse Productions? What did they do?
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse.
Oh, they've done lots of stuff.
Yeah, they do a lot of horror shit.
John Carpenter has further teased Blumhouse Productions' The Thing reboot, though he isn't really allowed to talk about it. It says, whether there has been any updates on the upcoming remake, Carpenter confirmed that there has been updates, but he has been sworn to silence over those the updates are. There are updates that I'm not allowed to speak of. We'll see, we shall see. Never say never in the movie business. Never say never. The proposed reboot will reportedly be based on Frozen Hell, the unearthed expanded version of John W. Campbell Jr.'s novelette Who Goes There?
Yep.
Which served as the basis for The Thing. So while it's expected to be a reboot rather than a sequel that fans of The Thing would perhaps prefer, Blumhouse's take on the story should include a number of substantial differences. So, there you go. And it's supposed to be coming out soon.
And John Carpenter is involved?
Apparently, yeah. So
That's the only fucking way that I could have any faith in it. Like true faith in it. Being awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Thing, the prequel was 2011. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
One of the, I can't remember if it was Wes Craven or Carpenter, might have even been Clive Barker, one of the three, was interested in doing a live action Dead Space, which I would love to see.
Yeah, that would be great. That remake of that game, man, holy shit.
I watched the new Scream.
Oh, yeah?
Was that Scream 7?
How was it?
Scream 2? It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Decent.
Just like the one before it, the soft reboot, remake, whatever the hell they're calling it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Scream, for a movie that spawned that many sequels and shit, like, there aren't too many stinkers in there.
Well, that's the thing that I remember because, like, when I saw it, like, they had Hayden Panettiere was in it, the chick from Heroes. And she was in the shitty Scream movie that I never watched. And she was like, oh, they brought her back. I got stabbed by fucking Ghostface or whatever. And I was like, I don't remember her fucking in any of that. I'm like, oh, that must have been one of the shitty ones that I skipped. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
John Carpenter. Oh, this is on January 13th of this year. John Carpenter hints at an upcoming Dead Space film. Oh, but he's not involved. Okay, I guess that fucking blows that shit out of the water. I would rather that he was involved. Dead Space is one of the fucking most violent cartoons I've seen, especially the way that it was animated. Because it was more or less animated like, kind of like a Saturday morning like superhero cartoon type of animation or whatever, and then it was as violent as fuck. That first one, I mean, the second one was pretty violent too, but I wasn't really prepared for the first one.
Look up on YouTube Dead Space 2 opening scene and escape.
That's great. Love that shit.
Yeah, that was it there. Just watching the guy turn into a necromorph like right in front of your eyes, though, that shit was freaky.
I know you're confused right now.
That was a character. That was a character from the animated movie.
You're in town.
I would think. Yeah. Well, he's in a straitjacket, so.
Run, Isaac, run! Yeah.
Good old Discords too.
If you open Discord on the TV there, I put the picture of the style that I was talking about from Star Wars Visions, about how it's like so fucking unique. Downloading update 1 of 1.
Jiminy Christmas. Vampire Hunter D thing is finally coming out.
What's
by
that?
The Kickstarter. I went in on that Kickstarter.
Oh, wow, from the from the
an
while ago.
animated series or a book or what?
A comic book series, like 6 issues or whatever, all on them. And
Yeah.
I got the hardcover. Nice. Yeah. They went through some. There was like a lot of shortages or whatever, paper shortages, which I know wasn't bullshit because I saw it at work. Like there was times where the boss was like, we just can't get certain shit in. So they had said a while ago, like this was supposed to be out a year ago. But they were having all kinds of issues with paper shortages, and honestly they sold a shit ton more than they thought they were going to. So there was just fulfilling all that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're finally starting to go out.
That's cool.
Anyway, where am I looking? I'm looking in...
Show ideas. Open in the browser. It's a 4K image. You can like zoom it in.
And that's what the animation looks like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The whole fucking thing is like that. It's fucking beautiful. It's amazing. Huh. And that's like transparent, that droid. So that little shine you see there from behind its eye, you're looking like through it, sort of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the like the line work and everything that's like inside of a hallway, and like she's like painting. It's fucking crazy cool.
It looks like a color version of a screenshot from the AHA video. Right?
It's
Take on
kinda,
me,
yeah.
but in color.
Yeah, it has that like sporadic like line work, and it's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I like it.
All melts together. Has that, like I said, that oh my god, what was the series show from based on the video game that has the Spider-Verse type of look to it, the painterly
Arcane?
Arcane has like an arcane look to it. Did you ever try that VR paint app, like Open Paint or something like that it's called?
I have not.
There's a VR where you can actually paint like in midair and like tons of spin and shit, and like a lot of the parts of that episode reminded me of that.
Huh. Man, I'd have a hard time wrapping my brain around all that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking trippy. I will post the first episodes of each one of the seasons of Star Wars Visions up on Jetflix, because those are like two of the most like crazy like visual and like cool story, wise, and I put up there. So
wait, what?
Andy Samberg?
No, he's voicing one of the characters in the Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh yeah, which one of the Spider-Man?
I don't. Oh no, isn't he Scarlet Spider?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that news came out a long time ago. I don't know why this is.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't remember them saying anything about who was voicing Scarlet Spider. I didn't even know Scarlet Spider was going to be in it until the trailer came out. He was at the end there.
Yeah. So, anything else interesting going on?
Well, there was you said like the NECA thing, and then I remember seeing the Iron Man thing that came out.
What Iron Man thing?
The Mezco one.
Robeson is doing a Grimlock.
Yeah.
A Grimlock, yeah. That's an interesting second choice. Probably a good choice because, like...
very popular character.
Very popular.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, very popular character, but like the transformation, because I guess you got to think in terms of transformation that they could actually pull off, like, and his wasn't a very complicated one. Although the bottom part, like the back half of the dinosaur and the tail and shit is going to be interesting to see how that goes, because his arms become the legs, so that shit probably is it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, you will.
Nah, I'm holding out for the Megatron tank.
You'll get it.
Nah.
Levy,
What's that?
I want you to bear witness. Mike said he's not getting the Robeson Grimlock, and I said you're getting it.
No, if he knows I won't. He knows I won't. Because
Do I?
because I have it would be different if it was
Said
like
the same thing about the Prime.
And the trailer.
No, the trailer I knew all along. That was one of those things. Like, I knew all along I was gonna get that shit. I did.
This goes back to episode 4. Mike, if you ever had a self-transforming, fucking transformer, would you ever buy it? Nah, that's take the fun out of it.
No, not the Prime. I will fully admit I FOMO'd in on the Prime when it went back up for pre-order. Like when they first put it up for pre-order, I'm like, I don't need it, don't want it. It's cool as fuck, but I don't need it. I don't want it. And then like it got sold out, and then after it sold out, I was like, man, I wish I would have fucking got it. And then it went back up for pre-order, and I FOMO'd into it. But the trailer I knew I was getting all along. No matter how much I was trying to say, I don't know if I want to get it or not, I fucking knew I was going to get it. But the Grimlock I won't, because it doesn't make any sense. How many fucking dude, that Optimus Prime, if you go down there, honestly, I don't have a good spot for it.
That's what you said the last time.
Yeah.
You said, what the fuck am I going to do with all these fucking big robots? Put them on what shelf or whatever.
Where am I going to like...
Well, that's why they have little cases that you can put them in.
Yeah, but what am I going to fucking carry it around? Like,
so when your friends come over, you can bust them all out. You're like, watch this.
How about how weird would it be if I just started showing up at like, anytime I got invited to somebody's house, I just show up with this briefcase with this fucking, and both of them. Yeah. You can't take the truck by itself. You got to take the trailer. Or you got to take it all.
Got handcuffs on them. Handcuffs on there. You open them up.
Yeah. No,
combination locks.
The Grimlock is going to be cool as fuck. But the tank, I'm holding out for that tank. And then honestly, like I'm thinking in between.
You think they're going to do a Megatron?
What's that?
You think they're going to do a Megatron?
I think they'll do a Megatron at some point.
They tease some Carbots too.
I saw a Scrapper. They had a Scrapper out there a while ago. They were showing a Scrapper.
Are you sure it wasn't one of the original things they had done before they got the Transformers license?
Yes, it was. It was that. But I don't think that they would just like throw them plans out. Like I would imagine they probably even if it's on the back burner.
But that's.
Are you doing Devastator though?
Yeah, right.
Like let's go ahead.
The
let's
button
see
and
this
they
one.
all combine.
Yeah, we laugh about it, but
that'd be interesting.
What if it was like really athletic? Like the fucking the feet went first, and then like Long Haul would climb up and fucking. And then Hook would climb up that whole thing.
Did you know that someone's going to eventually make an add-on for it so it attaches to AI? And then you'll have
And then he's making your breakfast.
And then you'll have the fucking... what's the
Small Soldiers?
What's the ones that makes the robot dogs? What company is that?
Oh, those...
Oh.
That's scary, that thing.
The ones where they kick it. And
I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about that movie with the robotic little action figures. Tommy Lee Jones voiced the one guy, Small Soldiers.
Small Soldier. No, I was talking about the dog soldier things that they have. But they'll design it. They'll help them design it so they can combine. And then you're going to have a fucking Devastator, like you said, making you fucking breakfast.
That would be great, dude. You play basketball.
Walking your dog for you.
Making pancakes.
Yeah. Making your dog for you, walking your pancakes.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Error.
Scooping up your dog.
You know what, though? I'm going to tell you something, man. If I wake up and I got and Devastator will put Jerry out for that morning shit and then start making me breakfast, that's one of them times where you just got to sit back and put your feet up and go, man, what a fucking wonderful time to be alive, right? Like, no matter how scary it might be. But in that moment, at face value, I haven't left the couch and the dog's out and breakfast is on. I had a scary moment, right? So I've been using GitHub's Copilot, which is basically machine learning to help you code. It's basically sits there as your Copilot, right? So you start typing something, and what it'll do is it's like has an IntelliSense where it'll just fill in the rest of it for you. Mm-hmm. You know, and usually gives you a nice big chunk of code, and you stop and you look at it and you go, yeah, that's right, and you push the button and fills it in for you. Well, I was working on this one code, and it has very specific information as to like this was a code number that it had to do like with like a certain billing code. And it was like, I had just talked to my boss, and we were saying, oh yeah, we have to do this or whatever. So I went back in to change the code, and when I started typing in the code, it filled in the code, but it filled in the code with the right fucking number it should be. And I'm like, how the fuck did it know that? I'm like, it couldn't have known that.
There's no, like, it's like, unless it listened to my conversation or some shit like that, because there's no way it would know what the billing code was to fill in. And
I'm
like,
sorry,
how does it
Jed.
know?
I can't do that.
I'm like, I stopped and I was like, I even said, I looked over at Lori. I'm like, how does it fucking know? How did it know that? I'm like, how did it know? It must have saw.
It sat there and read your lips as you were having that conversation, just like HAL 9000 did.
It was a little creepy on that one, because normally with just code build, it'll build frame code and you pop in like, certain values. That one put in the value.
Sleep with one eye open. That's all I can tell you.
Our devices like listening to us is pretty
Right now they are.
Like when you think about how often you're being watched
people
and
aren't.
listened to, it's creepy, man.
I'm gonna make a chat GPT around the Blackout and Shout podcast. That way, when anybody wants to ask a question from one of the hosts, it'll have an artificial intelligence representation of each one of us, and it'll answer accordingly.
Shit.
You'd be like, Levy, how do you like the new fucking Marvel Legends? Shit. Mike, how do you like the new Marvel Legends? Breasts.
It'll just be it'll be answering other questions, right. Our shit. Watching us and listening to us is like, you got to wonder how often you're being listened to or watched.
What you mean, like during
Our
the day?
devices and
all
that shit.
Well, this is actually odd that I don't have it on here, but on all my laptops, I have a little piece of tape over top of the camera. Yeah, just in case it accidentally turns on and I'm like sitting there fucking running one off or something, it's funny. And it gets put in the fucking Blackout and Shout chat. Oh, there's Jed jerking off to fucking some porn. Great.
It would live in it. You know what? His picture would be no big deal anymore. It's like,
Right,
oh, what? Yeah. I was just topless. So I was just waking up.
Philip Healy.
Yeah, it's not like I was fucking yanking one out.
Yeah.
Me and German were talking about it the one day, like about ghosts,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like that whole thing, like you gotta wonder, like, your dad's seen you at some point already. Like you think you're at home by yourself, the wife got the kids out there and shit, but meanwhile, like all your ancestors are sitting there.
Yeah, your whole relation. Just sitting there watching a fucking pound one out to fucking porn.
Even the ones that weren't alive, like for your lifetime, like the way back Vargos and shit.
Yeah, Farmer Kincaid's there fucking just
shaking. Like, this is what my bloodline fucking led to.
This is what he's into? What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Micus Aurelius is there with the sword. What? Apparently there is more to conquer.
No. Where's he sticking? Oh my God.
And that means a lot to me too, because I'm going to be the last Kincaid, man. I'm going to be the last of the Kincaids, man. At least this family tree, anyway.
I saw a video that made me think of you. It was on Instagram. It was a guy was putting a spider back into its cage, and he had like in like a little like fucking Tupperware dish.
Yeah.
And he was going to put it in, and it fucking came out and flipped up and it ran up his fucking arm right to the fucking camera. And he was like, "Oh, it's." I was like, Mike would love this video. I gotta fucking save it.
I would have pulled shit. Like I'd have been on the chiropractor's table the next day.
It was like he's like, oh, it was like, ah, shit.
It really is irrational because I think of things that scare me, and like there's not many things that scare me that like I don't like heights and shit, but there's a good fucking reason to be worried about heights, like if you're high enough. But like the spider thing is completely fucking irrational.
High enough?
Nate and I were just talking about this. He's like suddenly
What, you want to rip?
No.
Oh.
He said, if you're high enough. I'm like, high enough?
Well, yeah, that too.
Nate and I were talking about this the other day. We were saying that how suddenly, as we're older, we have a fear of heights where we didn't before.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think we're afraid of heights. I think we're just afraid of fucking hitting that ground and knowing what's going to happen.
Stop at the end. Yeah.
That's what Levy said. You're just afraid of fucking hitting the fucking ground hard. Yeah.
There were things that I did when I remember when me and Joe went up the billboard off of 78 Levy. Me and Joe went up the fucking billboard, painted the fucking dragon. Bro, I went and looked at that years later and was like, I was out of my fucking mind. I can't believe, because they didn't even have the railings. They didn't have the railings or nothing up there. Like, did they have the cage around the ladder? I don't think they did either. We just climbed that shit. I'm telling you right now, not for fucking any amount of money that you could give me at age 46 that would make me climb that shit with no safety shit on and go up there and do that again. I don't know what the fuck was going through my head. And me and Joe were both up there.
That's why those guys that work on those fucking big fucking windmill things that produce electricity make so much fucking money.
Dude, I've seen them videos. Those guys and the guys that replace the fucking antennas, the things at the top of those like real tall ass antennas and shit, like will have the GoPro and it's like, dude, I get seasick just sitting there watching that shit.
Yep.
But I keep watching it.
Or we ever see those guys doing the runs, the fucking parkour runs, and they're fucking literally running on the edge of the fucking building.
Yeah. I can't believe those people make it.
Some of them don't.
Yeah, some of them don't.
Some of them have to feel like,
There's a picture of somebody doing a backflip, and they're doing backflip to their death. And yeah, because they went and did a backflip, and you can see them, they're mid-flip, but you can see they're not landing on the freaking thing. They're going over the side. And that's exactly what happened.
That shit gives me the fucking chills, man.
You ever
seen a grown man naked?
One of my biggest fears isn't necessarily of heights, or is it like when I'm up high. Like one of my biggest fears isn't what if I fall. It's what if I jump.
like
You think about it, it crosses your mind.
Yeah.
But not
I'm
because
gonna do it.
Not because you're suicidal.
Did you ever were you ever like in a dangerous place and suddenly get the urge to do something like when you're up high and he's like,
yes,
you get this urge to jump, but you don't, obviously.
No, I've never had an urge.
It's a real phenomenon, and it happens to a lot of people.
I'm with you.
I can't remember what it's called.
I've had we used to fuck around like on bridges and fucking big on like the what were those electrical things with the big fucking ceramic things that probably fry you if we went up it, but they had ladders. I would go up to that. We would climb up those when we were kids. But yeah, I never had the impulse to fucking jump. Just to fucking jump. When we were younger, we used to have like a little fucking hut underneath the train tracks under the one bridge.
Yeah.
My friend and I, and we never would a train fucking come because we knew the schedule. And when a fucking train came out of nowhere, just fucking started coming over. We're like, Jesus Christ, fucking oil's dripping down, fucking loud, boom, 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 fucking scared the shit out of us. I'm surprised I'm fucking alive too. Some of half the shit that I fucking did back in the day.
I always used to tell my parents, especially my mom. My mom was always a warrior, and I used to tell her, "Man, you just fucking worry too much." But yeah, now that I've made it through everything, I look back and I'm like, man, she had fucking reason to worry about a lot of shit.
Yeah, even too, like just sitting in the back of a fucking truck, bouncing around, fucking not smashing your head on the fucking road.
But you know what? We made it. We played violent video games. You had fucking. We grew up with water guns that look like Uzis. We. Just kind of, it's weird how the fucking planet changed.
We didn't go into the white van to pet the puppies.
That phenomenon I was telling you about, it's called the call of the void, and it's not necessarily. It doesn't always like manifest as an urge, but sometimes just a thought. It's like I could just jump from here right now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Look it up. Just read up on
the void.
The call of the void
sounds sexier than what I think the scientific name would be.
It's something that happens to a lot of people.
Do it.
Yeah, that's actually sometimes it manifests like that. I never had
a voice in my head.
Sometimes it manifests like that for people. It's weird, man. I've experienced that myself. Like one time we were hiking. I was hiking with a friend and his family, and we were at the top of a waterfall, and I just had this overwhelming urge to just jump.
Yeah.
Jump after you push them all.
I actually still think about that moment to this day.
I had that too on April 25th, 2009.
You get married?
Married, yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
Which one of these options is going to be easier?
Do it, run.
Yeah, no, there are moments when that memory pops back in my head and I think about it. I'm like, wow.
Huh. Interesting.
On a non-related note, I was given an award at work for 20 years of service.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's actually 21 years. I've been there 21 years now.
Cool.
It's pretty impressive, Levy.
Yeah, I started there when I was 25.
Most impressive.
Well, Levy,
March 12th, 2002.
the reason that's so impressive is because since you're 25, you said, from the time Levy was 18 to 24, he probably had like 18 other fucking. He had a lot.
I didn't stay at a job for more than a year at that up to that point, you know.
It's because all the drinking you were doing back then.
Yeah.
We were pretty irresponsible. We all were.
Yeah.
What?
Man, 20
so
years.
20 years, right? But 21 years.
21 years now.
And what did they give you?
They gave me this
This watch.
Picture of
Not
a
a plaque,
grown man
but-
naked.
it's
Levy, the president of the company had this watch in his ass.
yeah, that's what they gave me. It's an award.
What is it?
It's an award.
Is it just like a
Oh, I see. It's like a
geometric shape? Or?
it's like a shape of a football.
Get glasses.
It's like in the shape of a football.
right here. Oh, I see. It's glass. That's why I fucking seen through and stuff like that. What's the things going around the top for? That's like, is that just the award design?
Well, yeah, it's the wooden frame that it's in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I got some other things too.
You spelled your name wrong.
No, they didn't.
Lenny
Levy Carey.
Lenny Kearney. Hey, Lenny.
Lenny.
So
That's cool.
I can't.
yeah, I've
picture
been
you
there
guys
21
on-
years.
Cool.
21 years. Good for you, Levy.
This October, I'll be at my company 23 years. So, lifers. Yeah. Pensions, baby.
No pension.
401ks.
That I
Retirement
have.
plans, baby.
That I have.
Seniority.
That I do have.
Yeah.
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 April has a pension. So she was actually the last training class to get a pension at PPL.
Before they took them all away.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. She's the last training class to
They
receive
took
pension.
Service Electric took theirs away too.
We used to have a good pension too, where they actually matched contributions, like what they put in, but then they stopped that, and then they just fucking stopped. Period.
Yeah.
My company matches up to $1 on the 401 on the 401k. Like you put in $1 an hour, they put in $1 an hour. I'm not gonna have much of a fucking retirement. Mine just started, man.
I thought your retirement was all the AMC stocks that you got.
Oh well, eventually. If I'm getting like close to death, I'm passing them down to DJ, and then here you could have the squeeze, you little motherfucker.
That's hilarious. You think they'll be in business by then?
They'll just be distributing pop. It'll changed over to just a popcorn company.
Gold and popcorn. That's all we deal in.
We do on popcorn, and here's 2 tickets to Jetflix. You get like a little QR code, and you scan it, and it goes to Jetflix.
Oh my god.
So, Jerry Springer passed away.
Yes. Yes, he did. Yep.
Or was it this week or last week? I think it was this week. Early this week? Or was it last week? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember the wife telling me.
I know what happened between now and the last podcast.
Yeah.
Your last podcast.
Did you guys watch Jerry Springer?
I
lot?
used to watch it when I was working. Well, no. Maybe it would have been school. Like whenever I had daytime off.
Yeah.
Probably would have been during school.
Yeah. Like when I
Between
was,
your soaps.
Yeah,
you know, if I was,
all
you know,
my
whenever
children.
whenever I had off from school or whenever I, took off from work or whatever, I'd watch. It was like a train wreck. And I knew like all that shit was staged and everything, but you know, he was like the professional wrestling of daytime talk shows.
That was too, like you said, it was staged and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think like the Morton Downey stuff from the original shit was
No.
staged, or was that real?
I think Morton Downey Jr. is what started all that shit, but it's like everything else. What starts out as authentic,
Well,
eventually fucking.
actually, I think what really started it was when Geraldo Rivera got hit in the face with that chair.
Yeah.
That's
But that was like a...
Because up to then, they never aired when, like, you know, if something would get violent on the show.
No, I mean, like, Morton Downey got popped, didn't he, by the fucking Nazi or some shit like that?
Yeah, but that was before. I think wasn't that after the Geraldo Rivera thing?
Oh, I thought he was the original Morton Downey.
Yeah, I thought. Well, no, because I thought Geraldo Rivera got hit in the face with that chair from a guest.
Let's go to the Wayback Machine and find out.
That was the Geraldo thing was like not an isolated incident, but it was like one, like where like I feel like the Morton Downey Jr. show was like Springer before Springer. I don't know, man. Man, that's going
Morton
back,
Downey Jr.
man.
He was in Predator too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was. Oh, Lori sent me an article about this post from the New York Post about this. They found this house of, I guess, somebody that died or whatever, and he was a fucking hoarder, and he had all these fucking toys, action figures, and comic books and shit like that. And there was a comment down below it that said, he's like, someone who commented on the story said, "This is how I always explain to my wife every day. The difference between a hoarder and a collector is shelf space."
It's profound.
It's true.
But it's true.
Yep.
Yeah. We were talking about that shit earlier. Because it's like, man, there's a lot of people out there collecting a lot of shit, and I don't know where the hell they're putting any of it.
Up their ass.
I saw that. Did you see the magic bus meme going around? The magic bus could be in your ass right now, and you'd have no idea.
Did you see that video that Alan posted about the dude, the old guy? Did you watch that one?
I did. Yeah, I did. Well, what you don't know about this particular action figure is, and the guys, I can't tell if that's a young dude with an old man filter on.
Oh.
Which, if it is, it's still funny, but it's not as fun. It's funny that he thought to do that, but it's much funnier if it was actually an old guy.
This is the Rocky Balboa figure right after he got beat by Clubber Lang. What a lot of people don't know is that it was up my ass.
I looked through a couple of that guy's videos, and it was some good shit on his wall, man. There was one where there was like, it was one of those like stitched ones where the first half is this girl with big ass fake titties and her half hanging out. It's like, what if I showed up, you know, to our date dressed like this? And he goes, "I'd ask you for a soapy titted wank." And it's like, the guy's so old, but then I was like, then I saw the one where he's young, but I couldn't tell if it was a young filter on an old man or an old filter on young. Dude, the internet's getting dangerous, man. Because like at some point, somebody's going to not like you enough to make you on there saying fucked up shit with your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we laugh about it now, but it's going to happen.
That's going to be you in 20 years.
I know. I haven't really been social mediaing all that much lately. Once they stopped fucking paying us for reels and shit, I was like, I'll check in here from time to time and drop a picture.
Stopped?
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted.
They got your free advertising out of it, and then that was it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think they thought that a lot of people were going to continue to do it, but like, I don't give a fuck about likes and all that shit. Like, when they were paying me by view, it was one thing. It's like, all right, that's cool, but yeah, I go on there.
When who was paying you?
Instagram.
Meta, Facebook and Instagram were paying by the view on reels.
Oh, really?
And then they were giving you bonuses if you had like certain amount of reels that went over 500 views or 1,000 views or 10,000 views or whatever.
Yeah, man, you could took all that meme posting and turned it into some fucking cold hard cash.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And it lasted for a year, and it was like, it was decent. It was like extra money. You know what I mean? But I think once they stopped paying, I think that they thought people were just going to continue to do so just for like clout. You know, like let's, you know. Yeah. And it's like, nah, fuck all that shit. it's too much work. Unless you're getting paid for it, it's too much work to really make them look good.
That's why all those people started posting those reels with just a single photo. And like, here you go, Instagram. Here's my reel of one single photo.
No, that
post.
was against the rules.
Yeah,
that was actually against the rules.
That's why they
couldn't do not even a slideshow. It had to actually be like video.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Chris hit me up on the side one time and he's like, "Yo, man, let me ask you something. It's like, you've been posting your like reels and videos and pictures of your collection the same shit like all the time, except for like when you get new shit." And he wasn't being like a dickhead, but he was just curious. And then I told him like, "Yeah, I'm getting paid for it." And he's like, "Oh, carry on." He's like, he goes, that was the only thing that would have made sense.
Yep. So who was first? Was it Geraldo or was it Jerry Springer?
So they were on right around the same time, man. Geraldo from 87 to 98, it says. And then Morton Downey Jr. was from 87 to 89.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So 87 was the big fucking talk show thing, huh?
Yeah, but Geraldo actually got popped in the face in 88.
In 88.
88?
Yeah.
When did Jerry Springer start? 90s?
90s. I believe it was 90s.
Yeah, had to be.
I remember when fucking Geraldo was fucking looking at
91.
fucking, who was he looking at? Al Capone's fucking vault.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yep.
Found
And
like
he
a
opened it
fucking
and it was empty.
bottle cap or some shit.
So all the Jerry Springer show that you watched going back, like, do you look at it as time well spent, or do you look at it as time you should have just been doing something else?
Well, what else was I going to do? I was home from school. I mean,
Well,
or work. What else was I going to do?
I mean,
play video games?
it's wild. It's wild to think about like a society that we're living in where, and listen, I'm sure Jerry Springer was a nice guy and everything like that, but it's wild to think about like that's the trash that you put on TV and that's like what people were watching. A lot, like enough to make a thing out of it. And it's a little.
Well, don't you see how social media has basically turned into that now?
Well, yeah, some of it. I mean, listen, there's a lot of cool shit on there too. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's some fucking cool artistic motherfuckers doing like some really trippy shit. And you see that shit on TikToks and Instagram and all that stuff. And like, you know, there's that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of creative stuff. And there's a lot of like informative stuff. And so there's pros and cons, but there's some of that. There's definitely some of that. And you can tell when the shit's acted too. Like, you know,
Planned.
the ones where like,
Yeah, that shit's all staged.
the wife cheated on her husband to be with the best man, and he's gonna fucking, and he's got these signs like this. You know, it's like, come on, all this.
Or the prank videos and shit. And
Yeah.
all that shit's staged.
So, but that if you look at the big pie chart, that's like 80% of them.
Yeah.
There's just that little bit that's actually good
That's,
content.
yeah,
you
that's
know?
definitely the lowest common denominator. Yeah,
So, I mean, Jerry
yeah.
Springer, all the fucking daytime talk bullshit that came up, like all the fucking lawyer.
People love watching train
Remember
wrecks.
Divorce Court? That
Yeah,
was
I remember
fucking
Divorce
Amazon.
Court.
Do you remember then they started all the fucking
Oh, no, that was the
People's Court,
Yeah,
and
the
then
People's Court.
they started doing all the fucking
Like-
Judge Judy's and shit like
Yeah,
that.
like People's Court was real because that was all like small claims court and shit.
Yeah,
But then Divorce Court was definitely staged. That was all actors.
that was all what they said. It was dramatization.
Yeah.
of the actual cases or something
Yeah.
like that.
Levy,
yeah.
let me ask you this. A lot of people have said that Judge Judy, my mom reminded her.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, when did Mike's mom get on TV?
My Uncle Tony calls her Judge Sandy. Someone when she's getting real heated. over
Judge
something,
Sandy?
He calls her. He calls her Judge Sandy. Yeah.
Yep, I can see it.
But that's all people want to see is fucking humor and conflict and shit. I mean, for
Yeah.
Christ's sake, Levy, you have a bookmark page about kids hurting themselves.
Yeah, it's an Instagram page called "Kids Getting Hurt."
Kids do fucked
it's the
up
greatest.
shit.
It's the greatest Instagram page I think I've ever seen in my life.
I could co-sign.
Fuck
that.
those kids.
because that's a little more like, listen, what's the ridiculousness? People fucking themselves up and all that, like all that kind of shit. I'll watch. That shit's funny, but that's legit shit. You know what I mean? But the drama type stuff, like that's the kind of shit that I
Yeah,
just
no,
don't
that's
really
dumb shit.
fucking feel any need to.
That's dumb shit.
Ever watch like
People just doing that for
but people
clicks and
fucking
views.
themselves up and jumping off of shit. And like,
Yeah.
you know, like that shit I'll watch.
I saw some cool informative content.
What's that?
Yeah, if you're like have a say electric drill or whatever, and you're trying to drill a screw in or take a screw out, and you fucking strip it.
Yeah.
What you do is you open up the end of the drill and you take the drill bit out where it has a screw on it, right? And you open it up wide and you put it over top of the screw and tighten it up, and then use the drill to pull it, like twist it, like grab it and twist it open.
You know what? It's so simple, but I don't know if
I never thought of it.
Yeah.
And I watched. I was like, no shit.
You know what the funny thing about it is?
The guy I was watching, he's like, no, it doesn't. He's like, no, it doesn't. He's like walking over, grabbing his own drill. No, it doesn't. He's like, what?
And it works.
Yeah, he does.
The funny part about a lot of those life hack videos is that like I've seen so many of them, and at the time I'm watching them, I'm like, oh, I got to do that shit, and then I don't retain.
I'll give you another one I found. I watched that was cool, and a lot of them involve tape, which is interesting. Someone took a piece of this is great. Someone took a piece of masking tape and they taped it onto the back of a picture frame, and they marked the places where the fucking teeth are. You hang it on. And you pull the fucking tape off and you put it on the wall and you fucking put the holes right in there and you pull the tape off and you hang the picture right on top.
Wait. So the tape was going.
So let's say this is the back of the picture, right? You take your tape and you go, and then you put little marks on where the tape is, where the thing is, and then you pull the tape off and you put it on the wall and you put the holes in there and you pull the tape off.
Okay.
That way you don't have to measure from the edge of the fucking frame into on the wall or anything like that. Yep.
Interesting.
So you just take, and then the other one I saw was where if you have a piece of wood and you want to like put some dowels in it, you mark it with a piece of tape and then you put the other piece of wood on top if you like want to make a corner like this.
Yeah. And
you put the wood on top and you pull the tape up this way and now it's on the other side of it, and then you just fucking drill the holes on each one and then it goes right together. It's pretty interesting, some of the fucking tape stuff that I saw. Especially the picture hanging one. I'll remember that forever.
I'm sure all that shit came from stoners. All of it.
Probably. Yo, man, we just use tape. What? Yeah, man, just put the tape on the fucking thing.
What are some other interesting toy things? Oh, did you see the not the Nemesis, the Nemesis. No.
Yeah.
Yes, the Nemesis.
You're thinking of the Revenge. Yeah, the Nemesis.
Did you see the Nemesis?
I did.
It looks dumb. And you know what? It looks just...
I said the arc looked like a big fucking piece of cheese, but nobody fucking believed me.
Well, in ship mode, it looks okay. Like, it looks okay. I mean, it looks like the fucking Nemesis.
Yeah.
Like, but that robot mode... And honestly, the Ark's robot mode is stupid anyways.
Right.
But the Nemesis robot mode was so dumb, it made me want to sell the Ark. It did. Because when they, like, I first heard rumors about it, I'm like, because I mean, the Ark is basically dopey, but it looks like okay, I guess. Like, it's the Ark, there's that whole last Autobot thing going on. But I heard they were going to do the Nemesis, and I'm like, maybe, that has like potential, and it sucks. So it's like, why do I want the Ark if I can't have the Nemesis? And it's just it's a spot getting taken up by the Ark that could be used for defense or something else. That's something where a Robeson fucking bot could be going.
No.
that Robeson Grimlock.
No.
Nope. I'm seeing too much of it, man. I'm seeing too much people collecting too much shit. And I don't want to be one of them people. I gotta fucking draw the line. I gotta keep the
Mister. I just got a speedball fucking Marvel Legends.
I did. Well, listen, the New Warriors back then, man. I decided like Marvel's tough because there's so much.
Trust me, I got piles of it on the top of my shelves.
You can collect the whole Transformers universe, or you can collect the whole like G.I. Joe universe or whatever. But Marvel is extensive. So I had to go with like, what was I reading in the heyday of my comic book reading time?
Right.
Which would have been the 80s and the 90s, like more specifically like the mid 80s to mid 90s. And like, so that's when those are like the characters that were important to me during that time, and I like the New Warriors back then.
Yeah, I did too.
Yep.
The original ones with Night Thrasher and Speedball.
Yep.
Nova and
I didn't realize
Firestorm?
that
She was in that? Firestorm?
Yeah. I didn't realize that Speedball was Penance. I did not realize that.
That's the main storyline.
I know, but I was out of it by that time. That was in the 2000s, wasn't it?
That was during Civil War.
Yeah, which was when? Or was that?
Well, when was the fucking Annihilation Wave? It was the same time. It was, early 2000s? 2005 maybe?
Yeah, see, I would have been not paying attention anymore.
2006.
06, 07.
I was close. I was 1 year off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Nova fucking came back from the whole fucking Annihilation War thing to see his parents.
Yeah.
And they were in the middle of the Civil War thing yet, and fucking Stark was like, hey, Nova, fucking, they had all the fucking things like, you gotta fucking turn your identity in, register. He's like, do you know what's been going on in space? He's like, billions of people and fucking species have died, whole fucking galaxy have collapsed and shit like that, and you're busy squabbling over this bullshit. It was really cool. He put Stark in his place, and then fucking Robbie, I think his name was,
Robbie,
came to fucking visit him as Penance, and he's like, and he's had his fucking head shaved, and he's all fucked up and shit like that. He did the whole there is no
Didn't he
Robbie
go back to
thing.
being Speedball at some point, I thought?
I think so.
That's like one thing that you can count on
though.
in comic books. Things always eventually kind of like return to...
Well, look at Angel, for fuck's sake. He got his wings cut off. He became Death, had fucking the whole blue thing, metal wings, right?
Yeah.
Then, after the whole Apocalypse thing got lost, then he realized that, oh no, he actually still, his wings grew back, or they gave his wings back. They were just coated in metal, but he actually has his real feathers wings.
Sure.
But they still were fucking like, crazy fucking paralysis shit feathers and stuff like that. And yeah, it always kind of circles back to an original take on the cat. Spider-Man's a different story though. They fuck him up. He usually fucking rolls back with just a different costume. And then they had the whole fucking Spider-Verse thing.
Yeah.
They're like, how many different ways can we fuck up Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, now apparently I guess he's not even attracted to Mary Jane anymore.
Yeah, that whole thing, man. That's like ever since that whole Mephisto New Day thing, it's been...
Yeah.
They never want them to get back together again.
But it might not happen today or tomorrow or next week, but it'll eventually happen again.
Well, there was a book, I wish I could remember the name of it, but it took place in the future, and it was fucking old man fucking Peter Parker, like real old, like in his fucking 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
And Mary Jane died from fucking like radiation
So
poisoning.
Spider-Man the End?
No, it's not the end. I think it's it's like that though, but it's another word. It's like a 4-issue thing or something like that.
Died from his radiation.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
radiation poisoning.
interesting.
Yep. From being too close to him for so long.
Yeah.
Oh. Probably one too many spider loads.
Yeah, right. Oh man, he should have been pulling out all.
I gotta say that the next time with the wife. Thwip.
The Thwip is coming.
Instead of skeet, skeet, skeet.
I was trying to explain.
Thwip, motherfucker!
So Vanessa is never like Vanessa was into comic book characters, but didn't really like read comics. So she, Spider-Man and Amazing Friends and like the X-Men cartoons and all, like that's how she like took into her fucking comic books and shit. So I was trying to explain to her the one night Snikt and Thwip.
The onomatopoeia.
She thought I was fucking talking some shit like out of my mind, man. I'm like, no, that was the thing. Make a noise. I remember running into somebody and I asked them, like, yo, what's the noise that Spider-Man's webs make when he shoots him? And they're like, oh, Thwip. See?
What about Bamf? That's another one.
Oh, yeah, Bamf. Yeah, Bamf, Thwip.
Rain.
And
it's called Spider-Man Rain. REIGN.
Oh.
Yeah.
we should do a Blackout and Shout punk band, 3-man punk band, and those will be our names in the band. Like, I don't know what the band will be called, but we could be Bamf, Snikt, and
Thwip
Thwip.
Snikt Bamf. We'll call ourselves Onomatopoeia.
No, but it's got to be like a Marvel thing, right?
Oh.
Those are all Marvel noises and shit.
The Marvel Legends, we'll call ourselves.
Marvel Legends. I love it. Levy, can you play drums? No, I see Levy as like the bass player.
I saw a video on Instagram. These two guys walked in. It said like drummer, guitar player, or a singer underneath it.
Yeah.
There's a bass player. Like, "Aw, what are you doing? Aw, you're writing a song." He's like, yeah. He's like, "Oh, let me see." He's like, "Oh, yeah." And they go, and he's all like happy, the bass player. They're like, "Yeah." And they put it on the fridge. Like a doodle. He's like, "You go, keep writing. Good job." He's like, he goes back to his room. We're not going to fucking play that. No.
Did you ever see the newspaper articles like, you know, woman, something about woman accidentally sleeps with bass player?
So my wife likes to see this band, right, with her friends. And they're like this local band. They play fucking cover. I think they're called the Boys Upstairs or some shit like that, right? And her one friend was like trying to go wanted to hook up one of the things. And my wife goes, "They're all married except one of them." I said, "The bass player." Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?"
Well, yeah, but you know what?
I said, "They're never."
We're sitting here laughing, but maybe that bass player is like a pimp. Like all them other motherfuckers are married, and the bass player's out there just slaying.
Nope. Because her friend was like, "No, it's not the bass player." Oh shit!
Bass players get no respect. I remember
Flea is probably the most respectful bass player that we know of, I think of. Right?
Flea and Les Claypool, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Who else? Billy Sheehan. I could think of a couple. But I remember the one time me and my bass player, this is during the Livewire days, we walked into the bar at the same time, and they let me walk by, and they tried to charge him a cover charge. He's like, "I'm the bass player." He goes, "I'm sorry."
"Sure you are, buddy. Get back to the line."
No, and Tom looked at him. He goes, "I'm holding a bass." He had the fucking bass in his hand.
Was that Matt?
No, this is Tom. This is the dude.
Oh man,
I'm holding the bass, dude. It was hysterical, man.
Oh man,
That's funny.
who do you think gets less fucking ass, fucking the bass player or the keyboard player?
Oh, the keyboard player.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to.
no.
Nobody even wants to talk. Who the hell? I have zero interest in talking to any keyboard player outside of like. I mean, if playing the piano is your thing, like, you know, but like, you know what I mean? There's not Billy Joel's and Elton John's everywhere. It's just, you know, the keyboard player, like, that just adds a little accent part so that they hide behind the PA speaker. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk to him.
What was the keyboard player from Guns with Dizzy? No, Dizzy, right?
Yeah. Izzy and Dizzy. Yeah.
Dizzy. Just hides behind the speakers.
Yeah. I remember who's the guy in Bon Jovi? David Bryan, was that his name?
You got me.
They wouldn't even put him on the fucking album covers, if I remember correctly. Like, they would just straight put the rest of the band on the album cover.
There was another meme I saw too. What was it? They had a bunch of fucking metal guys just stand there and like around the rocks and the woods and shit like that, with like a pond behind them.
Yeah.
It's in like a blurb, but it's like, the majority of Norwegian fucking forest rangers' jobs are to find metal artists lost from doing bad covers.
Press photos and shit. Yeah. It's all the same picture. Yeah. How do you feel about dudes? I just met one of these dudes not too long ago, at the when they did the fashion show. A dude that named the band after himself. Like, I met this dude, and I won't say his name because I don't
like the Gary Kiefer experience.
Yeah, Gary's coming next Friday. By the way, we're playing down at the pub, and him and a bunch of his friends are going to be there. But
on Friday,
yeah.
Which pub you playing at?
The Steel Pub right down here.
Oh, okay. I got to tell Sean about that because he said he wanted to come out and see you play.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, he split. He did the Phantom last time.
Yep.
I went down and told Doris, I'm like, "Oh, Sean's up there." Doris is like, "Oh, where the fuck this motherfucker is?"
Yeah, remember I told you somebody was hitting on him, so he left.
But anyways, what were you saying? Do you remember?
You were asking me what I thought about these people that name their bands after themselves.
Those guys.
Like the Gary Kiefer experience.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Because that takes a fucking set of balls on you.
Yeah. You gotta fucking... Well, I mean, you gotta make sure you really jam before you fucking name the... Well, I mean, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
I know it happens, Billy Idol. I know.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that out there, but it's even more offensive when it's the so and so band. Like you hear just
Jay Giles band.
Jimi Hendrix is just Jimi Hendrix. Like it's just like you hear a singular name, but when you hear the so and so band afterwards, it's extra annoying.
Well, how about this one?
Or the experience. Where do you get your balls naming your shit the fucking Jed Vargo experience? Could you fucking imagine? Dude, you could be the most virtuoso fucking guitar player I ever met in my life. Plug in and just blow my fucking doors off. And then do you want to play with it? Yeah, sure, man. What are we called? Oh, the Jed Vargo experience. Go fuck yourself, you fucking arrogant
Vargo.
fuck.
That's what I call the band. Vargo.
Vargo Halen.
Well, think about look at fucking Dio. Right?
Yeah.
Dio was like, fuck you guys. This is the name of the band. Dio.
Well,
Hey, Jed. What is that meme you're talking about?
Yes, that's it.
yeah. Dio's a little bit of a different, like, just because it doesn't necessarily, it's not like Jay Giles band, like Dio. Dio could be anything.
What's his last name?
It's his last name. It is his last name. Yeah, it is his last name.
It's Ronnie James Dio. Fucking.
Ronnie James
What are we gonna
Dio.
call the band?
Ronnie James Dio is the reason that sometimes when people are talking about dioramas and they abbreviate it to say Dio, I still pronounce it Dio.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I see Dio.
Yep.
You make me,
Yeah, the Dio. You make those Dios, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, dioramas, yeah, Dio. Yeah, I never realized that. That's what was I going to say now? Oh, MSG, Michael Schenker Group.
Yeah.
There's the other one, like the group, the the so and so group, but they abbreviated it so it wasn't as fucking.
It's not as blatant. It's not as fucking blatantly vain. And I'm a Leo, and even I think that's like Vanessa will tell you I'm annoying sometimes, but I never in a million years would ever name a band after myself. Like Mikey, the experience. Could you fucking imagine the experience? That's like some, that's
it. And you start naming your albums like Chapter 1, blah blah blah, or whatever, like Volume 1.
This is an album about my childhood. This is an album about like
one song for 45 minutes. Got to flip the record over halfway through. An intermission.
How many times are you going to be playing like you're in that band and shit, and it's like all the other spotlights go out and it just falls as one asshole?
What if you get kicked out of your own band? Someone takes over. It's a Mike Kincaid experience. But he got kicked out. It's everybody else is singing now. The rest of the guys are playing.
That would be rightfully fucking so. Oh man,
the Levy Curry experience. Oh, shit. I mean, at least the dude from Owl City, the one dude was like, I'm just gonna fucking call myself Owl City. But
I mean, it's Van Halen.
That's true.
It's a last name.
Yep. But there were two brothers,
right,
that were named Van Halen.
Half as offensive.
So they had some fucking weight in on the fucking.
But it's also
boats.
a cool sounding last name.
True.
Van Halen sounds like a Viking or some shit.
Oh, what's the name of those bunch of fucking kids? The brothers that sound like Led Zeppelin.
Hanson.
No.
Greta Van Fleet. No.
Yeah. Was it? Oh wait, no, that's right. Greta Van Fleet was named after one of the women they knew or the aunt they knew or some shit like that. I thought it was her last name.
Hanson.
It's not Hanson. Menudo.
You know what? It's just he said them kids that sounded like Zeppelin. This motherfucker goes
Hanson.
It was so dumb. It took 30 seconds for me to really realize how fucking offensive that was and shit.
Bop.
Yeah. He's like, hang on a second. Mike ain't pissed off enough. Let me repeat it. Hanson. Fucking.
I was going through a fucking list of boy bands with my wife because I said, what was the name of the band that you and your friend went to see when we started talking like all those years ago? She's like, was it? I said, was it New Kids? No. 90 Degrees? No. Fucking, then I start fucking
NSYNC.
In Sync? No.
Backstreet Boys.
Right. See, let me knock
Who
them
was
off.
it?
I don't know.
Who did it end up
It was
being?
90 Degrees, I think. Which one with Stay Out of It? Fucking, what's his name? Lachey or...
Yeah, 98 Degrees was...
Is that 98?
I'm pretty
Nick
sure it was.
Lachey. You stay out of it, Nick Lachey. Sean was telling me about... I got confused with Alcidian, him doing a compilation with Carly Rae or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got confused with Carly Rae and that chick that sang that song fucking Friday.
Rebecca Black.
Rebecca Black, yeah. And she was on Tosh. It's like he said, so he's like, when's your next big fucking mega hit? And will it be called Saturday? Because that's the chick that her mom was like all rich and just fucking had a video made for her and stuff, right?
Oh,
she sounded terrible.
Fucking annoying, man.
You remember that song?
She's
Yeah.
she's grown past that. I follow her on Instagram.
Really?
And she bodied
She's actually got a music career now.
You're a fan?
Yeah, but she got one because she was originally handed one. So
Dude,
I wouldn't exactly call
That's like fucking-
Friday being handed a music career.
Dude, seriously, like that's like when you play video games and you pay for the fucking upgrades instead of working for it so you can beat the boss at the end
What is?
of her career.
How do you know? You haven't even followed her career.
Because that was the thing. She got her mom threw all the fucking money down so she could.
Do you know how much harassment she got from that music video?
I hope a lot
know,
because
but-
it sucked.
Yeah, she was
What did
bullied
they-
and harassed.
It was
for years
terrible.
for it.
She shouldn't be. There was no way she should have been doing that.
What did they say? All publicity.
She was
There's
a kid.
no bad publicity. You know what I mean? Like
She was a kid. She didn't deserve the hate and the harassment she got.
but she had a platform though at that point. Like no matter if people hated her or loved her, people knew who she was. So that's what that. I remember Dave Grohl saying some shit about that, like about how people get into music these days, and it's like, man, it's like you're supposed to put a band together with some of your friends. You're supposed to suck. You're supposed to play in the fucking garage. You're supposed to like do all this shit and and like have some sort of like musical journey. And it's like, man, a lot of the. Not to hate on, and it sounds like sour grapes because there were a couple of musicians or whatever that never did shit, but it just, I don't know. It seems cheap. That kind of shit seems cheap.
What does?
Just like that kind of scenario where you're, I don't know. It's all so commercial. Like it's also commercial.
Well,
The only reason that video got any traction is because how bad it was.
yeah.
Okay. That's not why she's got a music career now. She worked for years after that. She didn't really, put anything out for years afterwards. Okay. So that was, I don't know. It's
The only way that I remember her is from that horrible, fucking terrible song.
okay. Well, that's you.
I don't remember her ever putting anything else out after.
I'll put this shit in
Because
perspective.
It's not in your wheelhouse. I mean, that's
true.
fair.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, Levy.
You're not
very
offending
defensive.
me. You're not offending me, but I think you're being a bit unfair to her.
I've seen. Let me put this in perspective for a second. Remember that psychopath girlfriend meme? That girl that was like, so she has like all kinds of followers on TikTok based on one appearance in one meme. Like that's all it takes. So if she had some fucking horrendous ass song and became somewhat of like an internet celebrity and shit, she had her toes in the door to eventually do something that.
Well, I mean, she's not,
already had. She had a built-in audience.
She's not like any big music star. She's making music and she's doing what she loves. Good, more power to her.
There was an article I read that Tom Waits was talking about. He said that music today, he's like, people haven't written new music in about 20 years, I think he said it was. So right around late 90s or something like that.
I think I agree with him. Yeah.
He said a lot of it's just been a lot of copy and paste and recycling. He's like, you haven't had anything like a wave of music come across.
Yeah.
Like grunge came and went, like
Right.
that type of thing. You haven't had a wave of different new music come across. It's always just been kind of like a recycled formula.
To be fair, I can agree with that, but to be fair, I can't necessarily hate on it only because I know that when I wrote songs and if I write anything these days, it's just, I wear all my fucking influences on my sleeve too. So all my shit would sound like little pieces of all the shit that I've listened to before. So I don't think that I would necessarily be writing anything that would be like some new fucking sound and shit. It's just going to sound like an amalgamation of all the shit.
But that's the normal thing. That's how it goes. You go, oh, hey, wait, how did they play that? And you try to play what they played or make it sound something like it, but it's still different because you're not doing the same exact thing, right? You're trying to put your influences and your different experiences into something that you think's really cool or sounds really cool, but it still comes out different, even though it's still based on what you're listening to. He was saying that a lot of the stuff is you're just sampling something exactly and putting it in here and there and just kind of pushing it together to make something like a song. Because
like, well, I see what you're saying.
You're not
like
even lifting. You're not churning it all together inside here in yourself and then spitting it out. You're just kind of grabbing it here and putting it together like a puzzle.
I've heard it. I've heard songs like newer songs or pop songs or some shit, and I hear a melody and I'm like, man, that fucking, it's on like the tip of my brain. I've heard that before, and it is. It's just like shit. I mean, there's only 12 notes, so I guess there's only so many ways you can make them go together, but it's kind of wild. Music's definitely gotten a lot more disposable as time's going on. And not to say that there's not good stuff out there. Here's what I think. I think there is as much good music out there now that there ever was, except that it's way harder to find now because anybody and their mother can have a home recording studio to just record anything they want, and B, everybody and their mother has the internet, so everybody can just put any music out there. So it's almost like there's so much more. Like being in a band years ago, you had to like really work at, like, it was a lot fucking harder to be in a band, and it was a lot more expensive because you had to go to a studio and do, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier, and I think it should be easier. I'm glad it's more accessible because I think there's a lot of really like bright and creative people out there, not just in music but in art and in a lot of things that maybe now have the tools to do what they couldn't do before because maybe they didn't have money for it, but now it's been a little more accessible. So I do like that part of it. But the fact that there's so much more fucking trash out there to sift through is one of the downsides.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you blaze the path for these people to be able to walk easier and do things, simpler. But unfortunately, that kind of like has lowered creativity on a lot of aspects. Because majority of music creativity isn't for creativity anymore. It's for money or fame, which is two things that really shouldn't be thought of when you're creating any type of thing that's for art. It should be something, expression of yourself, not expression of what people want to see that you think they want to see or what people will buy or want to buy type of thing.
I agree 100%.
And that's the problem. There's a majority of that now instead of honest artists that are just producing their own stuff because that's what they want to hear themselves.
Well, that all ties into like a lot of our favorite bands, like their best albums and shit like that are a lot of times their first,
right?
Or second, like that early shit or whatever, where they had their entire lives to write all that stuff, and then once money took over and record companies got involved, now they got to be pumping shit out, and it's just not the same anymore.
Did you guys listen at all to any of that new Metallica that came out?
I listened to the whole thing.
To the music.
I did listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll tell you what, man. I know you're going to tell me that you didn't like it because
I didn't like it.
Every time you do that, I think about Brother Kyle. He's just like, Jed doesn't like it. We're always because like we'll be talking about the reason it comes up is we'll be talking about something and Jed didn't like that. Jed don't like anything. It's either one way or the other.
I like Star Wars Visions,
but I will tell you that I heard the album, and if I was just in a vacuum and didn't know what year I was in and know what was going on, it sounded like a follow-up to the Black album, like chronologically speaking, the way they sounded on that album. And it wasn't bad. Like, I actually thought it was pretty good. And I'm trying to take everything in perspective. Like, dude, Metallica's like, they're old guys now, man. How old are them guys, man? Are they in their 60s? James Hetfield? I mean, we're fucking or 40, like
Maybe.
If they're not 60, they're pushing 60.
I know what Aerosmith's in their fucking like
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, they're older.
doing a farewell tour.
So wait, I'm looking it up right now, but how old is James? So
59.
he's 59. So like, dude, they were tearing it up a little bit on that album, man. I mean, I wouldn't say it was one of the fucking best Metallica albums I heard, but at least sonically speaking, it fit into a spot close to my wheelhouse as far as like what I kind of like,
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing earth shattering, but pretty decent.
Nothing you're going to hear on ZZO 45 times in a day.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, fuck ZZO. They're playing the same fucking 6 Pink Floyd fucking songs, man. Skinner.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with 6 Pink Floyd songs.
AC/DC.
The same 6 AC/DC songs. Although you don't know because the AC/DC all kind of sounded like, so they could have been playing like 25 to 30 different. But for real though, so you didn't like it. Why didn't you like it? You didn't like it at all, or you just didn't care for it? Like it was just whatever. It was whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it was just bland.
Or as the kids nowadays say, it was mid.
Mid? Is that the term?
Yeah.
Mid.
That's a new thing. I can't stand it. I think
Does
it's
that go?
dumb.
Does that go along with like the basic when they say this is basic and then this is mid? Is that how that works?
No. It's just when something's meh, mid is the new way to say it.
Oh, instead of meh, you say mid.
Yeah, that's what the new kids the kids nowadays say.
Mid level.
Levy's in touch, man. Levy's in touch with the younger crowd.
Well, I spend time on YouTube and social media. I see these things.
He's the kid, man. He is the kid in his group.
I like to watch them ride the bikes around. I learned the terminology.
I gotta ask though. I'm sorry to go back to the Metallica thing, but what were you expecting?
What was I expecting?
Yeah, what were your
I
expectations?
wasn't expecting a new album, that's for sure. So,
but when you found out that there was a new album,
Yeah.
so it was just on course to be hated, like right out of the gate.
I'm always open minded about any type of new music, and when I listen to it, I'm like, eh. And then I move to the next track, and I'm like, eh. And then I'm like, eh. And like I get so far, and I'm just like, it doesn't fucking grab me. I'm like, when I'm like rocking out to, I'm like, yeah. It's like New Coheed and Cambria is so fucking unique and different that every time I throw it on, I'm just like, man, do I remember fucking that song? Oh yeah, I remember listening to that song. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I remember, and I'll go back to the original fucking music, like their first album. And then I'm like, listen to new shit, and it's always so fucking different. But it's like this very progressive genre, whereas Metallica is very metal. So it's,
If I listen to shit like Coheed and Cambria, I got to be listening to it on purpose to listen to it. You know what I mean?
no,
Like-
you don't accidentally listen to it.
No. Like if I'm listening to like a Metallica album or even like Van Halen or Clutch or anything that's not like progressive type shit, it could be my soundtrack to whatever I'm doing. I could be in a gym, situation, or I could be cleaning, or I could be doing something where I'm just like kind of like jamming tunes or whatever. But like if I'm listening to like some shit like that Coheed shit, or like Dream Theater back in the day, or any of that kind of shit, I gotta like be paying attention.
Fate's Warning.
Yeah. You gotta be. I gotta be like, to really like give it a critical listen. I gotta.
You don't have to do that. You can have it play in the background. There's lots of things that you could just fucking let go. But the problem is that when you're listening to it in the background, someone's gonna catch you, and you're gonna be like, what was that? What did I miss? Oh, fuck, I gotta pay attention to this fucking album. It sounds really cool, right? That's good because it's fucking grabs you. Whereas like something like the last 3-4 Metallica albums they all probably blend together, right?
I guess just because maybe I just didn't listen to them enough, probably. Like, yeah, I don't know.
They're not unique enough. There's not like enough unique sound in it. I don't know. I'm not
They got
saying
shit
that,
on when they tried to start changing their sound or whatever. A lot of the fans were like,
Yeah.
and they were trying to roll with the times.
I mean, that started with Black. They said they changed their sound around the fucking Black album, and then fucking got worse after that. All the die-hard fucking Ride the Lightning fans and everybody before that, Master of Puppets and shit. They're like,
Black
this
was
suck. They sold out.
The Black album was a great fucking album, though. It really was.
It was, definitely fucking mixed and processed different than all their other shit.
Yeah.
Same thing with Megadeth. Same people said that about them. Never said that about fucking Maiden, though. Always Maiden fucking kept riding. Every single fucking album they put out was always something different. But with progressive music, I said, you always have that. I think the musicians and the music that they write grows and it develops into something different and progresses. Whereas when you have something that's like just a standard metal, you hit a point where you're like, I can't do anything more different because now it's going to sound like hardcore, or it's going to sound like thrash, or it's going to sound like death, or, and you can't, or it's going to be too light for people,
Yeah.
Like look at Metallica when they did Nothing Else Matters. That was like fucking like acoustic, but they had shit like that, which was cool because they mixed like One and fucking
Fade to Black.
Fade to Black, thank you, and like things like that with acoustic. But it's you reach a limitation of your genre, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas
Unless you completely,
when you have Floyd and you have things like Cody and Camry and Floyd, they can go all over the fucking palette and paint the whole wall, and you're still in the fucking genre.
but even I would even go and say, like, if you listen to Led Zeppelin albums, like, and they're just a rock band, but you listen to them, like, they're not you can listen to a whole album, and every track on an album has like a different sound to it, and like a lot of their albums were different sounding and shit like that. And I don't know if I would necessarily call them progressive, but like at least they were like trying to do something different. But things got different, like as the decades went on and shit like that. Music got a little bit more.
I'll tell you who is the perfect example of being able to stay relevant, change their styles, and be a chameleon with.
Could I take a guess?
Go ahead.
The Foo Fighters.
No, that's not who I was thinking of.
Okay, I think they're another good one.
But maybe David Bowie.
Okay,
David Bowie went from fucking Ziggy Stardust all the way up to fucking through the 80s and fucking I think he did some disco at one point maybe.
Yeah,
and then he was 90s. He was relevant all the way up until he died, and he changed as he went, along, and fucking everyone still bought his shit and loved this fucking stuff and he changed it.
So.
And he went through the different phases of things, pop genre.
and that's not easy to do.
Nope. Had that 70s, fucking rock sound, and so you can change and still be, have your own unique shit. But like I said, when you're stuck and you can't get out of it, Def Leppard, Metallica, fucking all.
His names like that's what always cracked me up about names like that, like Metallica, Megadeth. And it's like, what kind of band you in? Like
Christian.
There's not a whole lot. I remember telling you about that band 12-Foot Ninja that I listened to a little bit. Like they're cool because they have no rules right out of the gates. Like they just mix genres, like not even in the middle of albums, like middle of songs. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of hard to classify, but it's good to, like, I don't know. It all sounds so metaphoric, but like, listen, I've been wearing fucking jeans and a black t-shirt since the 90s. And if I ever showed up dressed any differently than that, like you thought that there was something wrong or that I was going to some event or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm the jeans and the black t-shirts, the Metallica, the Megadeth fucking wardrobe. Maybe you wear a gray shirt, a dark gray shirt or something like that, but you can't change them stripes too much.
It's just come in some fucking salmon colored pants and a light blue fucking button down.
Yeah.
And just bleach blonde hair.
We were down at the Steel Pub a couple of weeks ago, and Joe, Social Calls bass player, Joe shows up with his girl, and he's wearing exactly what I'm wearing. He's got jeans on with holes in them, and he's got a black t-shirt with I can't remember if it was a band logo or if it was just something like this, but it was but then he had a blazer on over top of it. But it was the same thing I was wearing, except I didn't have the blazer 80s. On. Yeah. And Vanessa leans over and she goes, imagine you walking in a fucking room full of your friends wearing that. Like, what do you think they would think? And I'm like, what they would think. There would be a bunch of fucking Don Johnson jokes,
Were you in court today, Mike?
Yeah. There would be none of my friends would tell me I look good or I look classy or anything like that. It would all be straight jokes the second I
That's lovely as that velvet.
Yeah, right.
Got that big fucking patches on your elbows.
Right. How about it?
Just fucking big tweed jacket.
He'd be up there, Joe would be up there telling the DJ to play the fucking Miami Vice fucking theme song and shit. You hear the fucking bongo drums or whatever.
Bum, 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 bum. Levy, I learned a piece of trivia today that I didn't know. I learned that the creator of Spy Hunter was a very big Knight Rider fan.
Oh, yeah?
And that's the reason why the car goes up into the truck.
Oh.
I remember playing that shit at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Sean actually does like live stream competitions on like the weekends with his Spy. He has like a little thing with us phone and they record like the games and stuff like that.
Huh.
Who?
That dude my friend that you never met.
Oh.
That guy, Sean. Who?
Sean, you know what? I think this should be a weekly segment where I read a Sean comment on my fucking wall. Wait, I just have to go back and I have to find the one. Oh, here we go. So first I'll read you the post and then I'll read you Sean's comment.
All right.
Because I kind of remember it being a good one. Where is he at? Just so I know where he's at. Okay, there it is. All right, so the post is, I'm a really open-minded guy. So when I don't like something, I really got to be able to wrap my brain around why I don't like it. And after a long time and a lot of thought, I finally figured out why I think country music really sucks. It's because I have decent taste in music. So let's get to Sean's comment.
That was your post.
That was my post. Sean's comment. If different genres of music was like Neapolitan ice cream, country western could be strawberry. You enjoy the chocolate and vanilla, stare at that pink abomination, try to convince yourself it's even close to taste to the other two, throw it away in the end anyway, while quietly resenting the Neapolitan ice cream industry for wasting 1/3 of every container on such garbage. I can't. Most of the when I see a notification come up and I see it's a Sean comment, I go and I look at it immediately.
Did you hear about the hundreds of pounds of pasta that was inexplicably dumped in the woods in New Jersey?
Yeah, it was like a mystery of some sort, right?
Yeah.
It's creepypasta.
Is that a weird news story?
Yeah.
All right.
So, more than 500 pounds of pasta were dumped in the woods last week, including ziti, spaghetti, and other noodles.
500 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
And, yeah, there's just pictures of it. Just piles of fucking pasta just in the woods.
And it was where? In Jersey?
In Jersey, yeah.
Maybe it was accidentally abducted by aliens and
They actually did solve it. Yeah.
Okay.
Who was it?
So, but apparently it was some guy whose parents passed away, I guess, and they were like food hoarders. They had all sorts of they had all sorts of like food stored and everything. I think it was kind of like from the pandemic and shit. And he just went and just dumped this pasta. It was uncooked pasta originally, but because of all the rain that we had,
right, yeah,
it all soaked up all the water and just ended up looking like old cooked pasta that somebody just dumped in the woods. So, but they cleared it all out because apparently pasta can cause pH imbalances in local water supplies.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I guess it creates acid. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yep. According to the things that I've read,
is it just
pertaining to this? They said, yeah, it can
flour
cause
and egg.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Really?
Imagine
interesting.
That's what they said. I'm not a culinary aspect or expert or
why did he dump it in
chemical
the woods?
expert or anything like that.
Was like behind the dude's house or something, or
no? It's just out in the woods.
So he hauled all the fucking pasta out there just to dump it? That's weird. Why don't you just using the fucking trash?
Imagine you're an Italian squirrel and you're out there in the woods. You're out there in the woods.
Hey, look at this.
Imagine how happy you, man.
Reggie, come here. Look at all this pasta. Oh.
Miles of
Hey,
pasta.
watching me do this Scrooge McDuck. Woo. That's interesting. Why didn't you just throw it in the river? He's like right next to the river, or the creek or whatever. Yeah,
would have damned the whole.
Yeah, pasta dam.
The patio pasta dam.
Some Italian beavers.
Forget about it. Oh, shit.
Hey, Jacob, what do you want to put in the dam? I don't know. Let's put it right here. Okay. Woohoo. Oh, did you watch the Super Brothers movie?
I did not.
No.
Not yet. I did not.
Speaking of silly Italian voices.
Pranksters have mown a giant penis into a famous perfect lawn on one of Britain's most exclusive streets just days before a coronation party there.
It's a crop circle.
Cock circle. Yeah. Yep.
But you automatically know what it is.
Yep.
The two balls are all perfect. They're like the exact same size as the other one.
Yep. Yeah, just days before a coronation party there. Residents of the posh Royal Crescent in Bath were stunned to see the large phallus on the grass outside of their homes today. The large willy appeared overnight in the Somerset spa town, but no one knows why or who is responsible. It appeared just 2 days before a large coronation party is planned for the grounds of the Royal Crescent.
Clearly it was Italian squirrel.
Yo, you know what? Save a picture of that. I want to do like a 2-panel thing where it's that picture and then it's like Doors' face photoshopped on a dude mowing the grass. Like at night.
Here, I'll send it to you.
Bloody hell. What? Marjorie, look at this.
Yep.
Oh, no. Our coronation party's been ruined.
When
Did you see some of those videos where the fucking girl sitting there like a fucking stuffed fucking porn doll, and the fucking people come over and like, what is that? How much does that cost? And she's like, what? And she like starts moving around like a fucking real person. No, she looks just like a fucking blow up doll. It's fucking hilarious. But on that note, what do you think? It's time to call it.
I think it's a wrap.
Think this well has dried up?
Yeah, we didn't. Unless we didn't. Did we post for questions? I'm sorry. Did we post for questions?
That's Levy's job. Did you?
No.
Okay, no. So that would be a no.
Good job.
9.
Good job, Levy. Well done.
I mean, we got the Italian squirrel bit out, so I think.
Well, mission accomplished.
Anybody got anything in closing? Enough's enough. We're out.